Chapter 165. Chapter 165. A Peerless Beauty. Lu Ming waved his spear like a dragon. The power of fire exploded. Combined with the fire-controlling spear art, the power was terrifying. As he waved his spear, it was like a volcano erupting. A scorching aura filled the air and enveloped the thin black-robed man. Boom! The skinny black-robed man tried his best to resist, but he was still swept by the scorching aura. His black bamboo hat suddenly burst open, revealing the face under the black robe. Lu Ming was shocked. It was a woman's face. She was about 15 or 16 years old and looked even younger than Lu Ming. She had an oval face, willow-shaped eyebrows, round, watery almond-shaped eyes, and skin that was whiter than snow. She was actually a woman of unparalleled beauty. Lu Ming initially thought that it would be a skinny old man. He did not expect it to be a stunning young lady. He could not help but be stunned. I didn't think that a small empire like the Burning Sun Empire would have a genius like you. A second-grade Great Martial Master was actually able to shatter my bamboo hat. Since that's the case, I won't hide anymore. I'll show you my true strength. The beautiful woman's voice was clear and melodious, like beads falling onto a jade plate. It was very pleasant to the ear, but at this time, her voice was filled with cold, killing intent. Whoosh! The beautiful woman pulled off her black robe. The black robe was torn apart, and it fluttered in the air like black butterflies, revealing the young girl's delicate figure. However, Lu Ming was not in the mood to appreciate it because the young girl had already launched a fierce attack on him. Heavenly demon power, chaotic dance of the demonic lotus. The beautiful girl shouted. Black genuine chi surged around her body, forming black lotuses around her. Then, the young lady waved her hands and the black lotus flowers spread out. The black petals pierced through the air and flew toward Lu Ming with an ear-piercing whistling sound. Lu Ming finally knew what technique the young girl had used to kill the elder of the Dongi tribe. It was these petals. However, the speed of these petals was obviously faster and there were more of them. Fire dance. The long spear swayed and flames appeared around Lu Ming. Ding, ding, ding. Rapid clashing sounds rang out, and in a few breaths, more than 100 strikes had been made. What powerful strength! Lu Ming felt that every time they clashed, the power from the black flower petals was shocking. After clashing for more than 100 times, even with Lu Ming's cultivation, he felt his arm go numb. Great demonic palm. The stunning young lady shouted. She kicked her legs slightly and her body soared into the sky, striking out a few palm strikes at Lu Ming. 3 black palm prints were lined up, one in front and one behind, tearing through the air and heading toward Lu Ming. Broken armor. Lu Ming thrust his long spear forward. The tip of the spear spun, bringing with it a powerful spinning cutting force. Bang! The first palm print was destroyed by Lu Ming, but his body swayed and he could not help but take 2 steps back. However, the second palm print had already arrived. Broken armor. He continued to cast the same move and destroyed the second palm print. However, Lu Ming retreated 8 steps in a row, his face pale. Immediately, the third palm print followed. Landslide. Break. Lu Ming roared and swept his long spear. The spear body shook and collided with the third hand seal. Boom! As if struck by lightning, Lu Ming's body trembled violently and he retreated more than a dozen steps. His chi and blood were in turmoil. He felt something sweet in his throat and spat out a mouthful of blood. He's too strong. Where did this genius come from? At this moment, Lu Ming was shocked beyond words. Before this, the girl's aura was hazy. Although she looked strong, no one could see her cultivation. However, when she used the demonic palm print, she finally revealed her cultivation. Second-grade Great Master Realm. This stunning young lady's cultivation was the same as Lu Ming's, at the second-grade Grandmaster Realm. However, her combat strength was terrifyingly strong, and she could actually suppress Lu Ming. Now that Lu Ming's true War Dragon technique had been cultivated to the 3rd level and he had comprehended the force of fire, he was actually suppressed in a battle of the same level with such powerful combat strength. Force. This girl has also comprehended force, and her level of controlling force is definitely higher than mine. She's also very powerful in other aspects. No, from her tone, she shouldn't be from the Burning Sun Empire. Lu Ming's mind was racing. Not bad. I didn't expect that there would be a second-grade Great Martial Master in the Blazing Sun Empire who could block my demonic palm. I'm starting to feel pity for you. How about this? If you leave now, I'll spare your life. The stunning young lady looked at Lu Ming in surprise. The victor hasn't been decided yet? I don't have the habit of admitting defeat easily. Lu Ming grinned, his eyes filled with fighting spirit. I just complimented you, and you're so arrogant. I'll show you the difference between us. The young girl snorted coldly. She moved and charged toward Lu Ming. So fast, this is the force of the wind. Lu Ming's pupils constricted and he suddenly swept his long spear horizontally. Boom! The two of them exchanged a blow and then started fighting again. It had to be said that the stunning young lady's combat strength was very terrifying. Other than not using his blood meridian, Lu Ming had already used all his strength. However, he was still completely suppressed by the young lady. After only 7 or 8 moves, Lu Ming was completely outmatched. Blood seeped out from the corner of his mouth. I'll send you on your way. The girl's voice was very cold as she sent out a few demonic palm imprints. Now! Lu Ming's eyes suddenly lit up. A blood-red light flashed on his body as his blood meridian burst out. After that, Lu Ming ignored the demonic palm print and dashed toward the young girl. Boom! 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 3 black palm prints landed on Lu Ming's body in a row. However, Lu Ming's body only trembled. He gritted his teeth and rushed toward the young lady. The young girl was stunned. She had never expected that Lu Ming could withstand her demonic palm imprint. By the time she came to her senses, Lu Ming was already in front of her. Whoosh! The long spear was thrust out as fast as lightning, but the young girl's reaction was also very fast. She waved her palm and smacked Lu Ming's long spear to the side. However, Lu Ming's momentum did not stop and he continued to crash into the young girl. At the same time, his palm glowed and the long spear disappeared. Lu Ming's claw was aimed at the young girl's throat. This time, the young girl could no longer dodge and was caught in Lu Ming's arms. At the same time, Lu Ming's fingers grabbed her throat. However, Lu Ming's fingers did not reach for it because a dagger had appeared in the young girl's hand out of nowhere and she was pressing it against Lu Ming's back. As long as Lu Ming exerted force in his claws, the young girl's dagger could instantly pierce through Lu Ming's heart. On the other hand, the young lady did not dare to stab him with her dagger. If she exerted any force, Lu Ming's claw would instantly break her throat. The two of them were in a stalemate. However, their posture was really strange. Lu Ming clasped the young lady's neck with one hand and hugged her slender waist with the other. The young lady's hands seemed to be hugging Lu Ming. She held a dagger in one hand and pointed it at Lu Ming's back. Chapter 166. Chapter 166. Stop. Their faces were only a few centimeters apart, and their eyes met. They could smell each other's breath. A delicate fragrance wafted into Lu Ming's nose. He could not help but twitch his nose and take a few deep breaths. The girl's face turned red, and her eyes were filled with anger and killing intent. She said coldly, "If you don't want to die, quickly let go." How could Lu Ming agree? "Unless you put away your dagger, don't think I'll let you go." He pouted. "I'll keep the dagger first? Don't even think about it." The young girl shouted angrily. "Oh, forget it then, it's pretty good like this anyway, soft jade and fragrant, not bad, not bad, it's also pretty good to stay like this." Lu Ming chuckled. "You're shameless." The young girl was embarrassed and furious. "You still dare to scold me? Do you believe that I will bite you?" Lu Ming grimaced in pain. "No, wait. The young girl finally couldn't take it anymore and screamed. Lu Ming stopped. "How about this, we both let go. I will put away the dagger and he will let go of your hand. How about it?" The young girl said helplessly, her heart clenched. Lu Ming was really despicable. All right. Lu Ming pondered for a moment and nodded in agreement. After all, it was not a solution to go on like this. I'll count to 3, 2, 1, and we'll both let go. The young girl was overjoyed to see Lu Ming nodding. 3, 2, 1. When the young lady shouted 1, the dagger in her hand disappeared and Lu Ming released her throat. At this moment, a cold glint flashed in the young girl's eyes. The muscles all over her body trembled. Her seemingly petite body burst out with an unparalleled power. At the same time, she clasped her arms and grabbed Lu Ming's neck. I knew you would be like this. Lu Ming shouted. The muscles in his body bulged, and at the same time, the essential qi in his body burst out. He grabbed the young girl's hands with both hands. At the same time, Lu Ming's legs clamped around the young girl's waist. Instantly, the two of them fell to the ground and wrestled with each other. They were competing in the burst of their physical strength and true qi. Lu Ming realized that the young lady's physical strength was extremely strong, far exceeding his. Moreover, the cultivation technique that the young lady cultivated was also extraordinary. The condensation and richness of her essential qi were far beyond that of an ordinary martial artist. However, there was still a gap between her and Lu Ming's essential qi. Therefore, the combination of physical strength and essential qi made Lu Ming and the young girl almost on par. It was difficult to tell who was superior. However, after a long time, Lu Ming still had the upper hand. In the end, the young girl finally admitted defeat. She was completely defeated as she shouted, "Let go of me. I swear I won't do anything to you. We'll each take half of the secret manuals here. If I go back on my words, I'll never improve my martial arts again. I'll die of qi deviation." Lu Ming's heart stirred. To a martial artist, this oath was heavy enough. Moreover, martial artists valued oaths very much. This was because if one did not abide by the oath they had made, it was very likely that it would leave a knot in one's heart, which would be very disadvantageous to their future cultivation. This is more like it. Lu Ming then let go of his hand. The young girl also let go of her hand and let go of Lu Ming. Lu Ming crawled a few meters away and lay on the ground, panting heavily. The battle just now was even more tiring than an intense battle of life and death. The young girl was the same. She panted heavily, but her beautiful eyes glared at Lu Ming fiercely, as if she wanted to bite him. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He shouted, "Hey! You swore it yourself. Don't forget it." The young lady's combat strength was indeed above his. Furthermore, his bloodline had already erupted. If they were to fight again, he would not have the ability to create the situation he had just created. The young girl's eyes flickered. In the end, she gritted her teeth and let out a cold humph. She did not continue to attack. The two of them glared at each other while circulating their cultivation techniques to recover their true qi. 2 hours later, both of them had recovered their physical strength and true qi at the same time. Buzz! Buzz! The two of them flashed at the same time and rushed towards a stone pillar, beginning to bombard the light rings on the stone pillar. Great demonic palm! The young girl seemed to have released all her anger onto the light ring, erupting with a powerful attack. The light ring in her hand exploded in no time. The young girl collected the secret manual in the ring of light and threw it at the next ring of light. So fast! Lu Ming's heart ached terribly. There were 6 stone pillars in total. The young girl had already destroyed the halos on 2 of them, and Lu Ming had obtained a secret manual. There were only 3 books left. Now there was 1 less book. Lu Ming could only get 2 books at most. Boom! Boom! Lu Ming bombarded the ring of light with his long spear. After dozens of shots, the ring of light shattered and Lu Ming kept the secret manual inside the supreme shrine. He looked over at the young lady and saw that she had just shattered another light ring and obtained the secret manual inside. There were 6 stone pillars and 6 secret manuals. The young girl took 4 of them and Lu Ming got 2. Chapter 167. Chapter 167. The flaming passageway. Umph. At this moment, the young girl's mood seemed to have improved. She looked at Lu Ming smugly and snorted coldly. Immediately, the young girl rolled her eyes and suddenly said, "Brat, your combat strength is not bad. Why don't we join forces and break into the core of this cave? How is it?" "The core area? Isn't this the core?" Lu Ming was a little surprised. "Of course not. This is the cave abode left behind by a martial king realm master, an ancestor of the Dongi tribe. How can it be given away with just a few manuals?" The young girl laughed in disdain. "He's a peerless expert of the martial king realm." Lu Ming gasped in his heart. At the same time, there was a burning desire in his eyes. A martial king realm martial artist, also known as a king, was incredibly powerful. There might not even be a martial king realm expert in the Burning Sun Empire. Kings had the power to destroy the heavens and earth, overturn rivers and seas, and were unimaginably powerful. This was the cave mansion of a martial king realm expert. What kind of treasures would there be? "How is it? Let's join forces?" the young lady said with a smile. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. He was a little puzzled. This young girl should be itching to bite him, right? Why would he be so kind to invite him to help? Let's agree first. This is a king's ruin. Lu Ming made up his mind and said, "All right, I agree to work with you." And NBSP. "All right, let's go." The young lady smiled, her beauty capable of causing the downfall of cities and countries. Lu Ming could not help but be stunned. This young lady is really pretty. She's not inferior to Mulan and Qiuyu at all. In fact, she's even better than them. Unfortunately, she's too evil. The girl touched one of the walls of the stone room. Not long after, the stone room's wall made a cracking sound, and a stone door appeared. Lu Ming was very surprised. He could not help but ask, "Who are you? Why are you so familiar with this place?" "Of course I've investigated it thoroughly. Why else would I come to this place so easily? As for who I am, why should I tell you?" The young girl rolled her eyes at Lu Ming and snorted coldly. She was the first to enter the stone door. Lu Ming followed him in. Behind the stone door was a passage that twisted here and there. After exiting the passage, there was another stone room. However, there was nothing left in this stone room. Lu Ming followed the young girl and passed 3 stone rooms. Finally, they ran into trouble. In the 4th stone chamber, they encountered the demonic corpse and the demonic puppet. There were a total of 6 demonic corpses and demonic puppets. Each of them had the combat strength of a 5th-grade great martial master. The 6 of them joined forces, and the 2 of them were caught in a difficult battle. However, the eyes of the demonic corpses and demonic puppets were their weak points. The 2 of them took more than 10 minutes to kill all 6 demonic corpses and puppets. Then, Lu Ming's gaze shifted to a stone door at the side of the stone room. This stone door was taller and wider than the previous one. It was more than 2 meters wide. When the stone door was opened, a dark passage was revealed. If I remember correctly, we will reach the final core area after passing through this passage, but there must be inscriptions on this passage. The young girl said. Lu Ming nodded and the 2 of them walked in. The deeper they went, the wider the cave became. In the end, it became a huge passage that was 7 to 8 meters high and more than 10 meters wide. Surprisingly, there was no movement for the first 1,000 meters. But after walking for about 1,000 meters, inscriptions began to flash around the cave and on the ground. Countless inscriptions glowed, and then a scorching aura spread out. In the next moment, the entire passage turned red, as if it was in a fire domain. And NBSP, hoo-hoo. A large patch of fiery red flames appeared and filled the tunnel. This was a real flame, not an illusion, but formed by inscriptions. Buzz! All of a sudden, a tall figure walked out of the flames. His entire body was condensed from flames, and he held a huge flame sword in his hand, slashing it at Lu Ming. A flame spirit condensed from runes. Lu Ming's heart trembled. He did not dare to underestimate her. The fire-tongued spear appeared and he thrust it forward. Boom! The powerful spear's gleam pierced through the flame spirit. However, after the flame spirit was dispersed, it instantly condensed again and charged toward Lu Ming. At the same time, a few other flame spirits condensed and charged at Lu Ming with flaming sabers, flaming spears, and other weapons in hand. On the other side, the beautiful young lady was in the same situation. She was surrounded and killed by the fire spirits. Boom! Boom! Booms rang out continuously as the two of them engaged in a great battle with the flame spirits. However, these fire spirits were very powerful and couldn't be destroyed. After being scattered, they would gather again, making them very difficult to deal with. Let's join forces and keep charging forward. As long as we can get past this place, we'll reach the final core area. The young girl called out. Lu Ming nodded and leaned against the young girl. The two of them attacked together and rushed forward. However, there were more and more flame spirits in front of them, and the temperature of the flames was getting higher and higher. The two of them seemed to be in a furnace. The flames are my battlefield, Lu Ming muttered. The power of the fire erupted and formed a wonderful domain around him. When he walked past, the flames automatically retreated. Who? Fire Ruthless waved his spear, and the flames were driven by the spear, forming a fire dragon that blasted toward the flame spirits. Bang! Bang! One by one, the fire spirits were blown away. The fire here is really magical. It's completely different from the fire of a volcano. The fire of a volcano is about erupting and destroying everything. However, the fire here has a spirit and can form a fire spirit. Lu Ming's heart stirred and he seemed to have understood something. His eyes were bright as he observed his surroundings while fighting. Fire is not only explosive and destructive. It also contains spirituality and vitality. Fire is the origin of human civilization. Lu Ming kept thinking in his mind. Unknowingly, the force of fire in his body became more condensed. My fire force is about to reach the small success stage. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He didn't expect that a moment of comprehension would allow his fire force to improve by such a large margin. Originally, his force of fire was only at the beginner level and could be considered as scratching the surface. Now, he had finally taken a big step forward and was approaching the small success stage. The improvement in the force of fire made Lu Ming's attack stronger. With one sweep of his spear, a large number of flame spirits were swept away. At the side, the stunning young lady was secretly shocked. Lu Ming's comprehension ability surprised her. It was only an inscription formation, but Lu Ming had actually comprehended something in such a short time. Boom! Boom! The two of them joined forces and advanced forward. However, there were too many flame spirits, and the battle between them was extremely difficult. Half an hour. The two of them had been charging forward for half an hour, crossing thousands of meters. Even with their combat strength, there were still many wounds on their bodies. It could be said to be a tough battle. We're almost there. The stunning young lady suddenly cried out in surprise. Lu Ming's spirits were lifted. They had finally reached the end of the cave. In front of them, there was a huge underground cave. Chapter 168. Chapter 168, The Jade Sword and Ring. He could vaguely see the situation in the cave. Charge! The two of them used all their strength to blast away some of the fire spirits in front of them, and they rushed forward. Buzz! Buzz! After a few runs, he crossed the last few dozen meters and rushed into the cave. After the two of them entered the cave, the flame spirit and the flames behind them slowly disappeared. Who? The two of them let out a long breath and then looked around. This was an underground cave. It was very large, with a height of more than 100 meters and a radius of more than 100 meters. The two of them glanced around and fixed their eyes on the center of the underground cave. There was a human skeleton sitting cross-legged on the ground. The bones were as clear as jade. There was an altar behind the skeleton. It was made of stone and carved with patterns. It was filled with an ancient charm. However, Lu Ming and the beautiful young lady only took a casual glance at these and ignored them. Their eyes were fixed on the two arms of the skeleton. The skeleton's right hand was holding a green jade sword. The jade sword was very small, not much bigger than a finger. On the left finger of the skeleton, there was a ring. A storage ring. Lu Ming could tell at a glance that it was a storage ring. This skeleton must have been an expert when it was alive, so its storage ring must be worth a lot. Lu Ming's eyes were burning. Buzz. Buzz. Suddenly, Lu Ming and the girl in his character moved at the same time. The two of them turned into two rays of light and dashed toward the skeleton. In an instant, the two of them arrived in front of the skeleton. Lu Ming clawed at the storage ring on the skeleton's finger, while the stunning young lady went for the jade sword in the skeleton's right hand. Gathering his junqi, he formed a claw and grabbed the storage ring off the skeleton's hand. "It's in my hands." Lu Ming was overjoyed. At this moment, the beautiful young lady was also holding the jade sword in her hand. The joy on her face was difficult to suppress. Then, the beautiful young lady moved her hand and kept the jade sword. She looked at Lu Ming and said, "Hey, kid, hand over your storage ring. We'll split the things inside." "Half each? Are you kidding me? You take that jade sword and I take the storage ring, so we each have one. What right do you have to split my storage ring?" Lu Ming sneered. Naturally, he would not give it up. "Your appetite is too big. This is an interspatial ring left behind by a king. Its value is shocking, but I only took a jade sword. It's not fair. I don't care, I want to split the things in the interspatial ring equally." The stunning young lady glared at him and said arrogantly. Lu Ming was speechless. He rolled his eyes and said, "How about this? How about we exchange? I'll use my storage ring to exchange for that jade sword so that you won't say that I've taken advantage of you." "Why should I exchange with you? I won't." The stunning young lady didn't even think about it and directly rejected him. Lu Ming was so angry that he laughed. He could tell that the value of the jade sword was higher than that of the storage ring. This young girl had gotten a bargain, but she was still thinking about the storage ring. "Then let's have one each." Lu Ming could not be bothered with her and kept the storage ring. What was there to say to this unreasonable woman? If you don't give it to me, then I'll take it myself." The stunning young lady rolled her eyes and suddenly rushed toward Lu Ming. "Hey, you swore before that you wouldn't fight me. You're going against your oath now." Lu Ming shouted as he retreated quickly with his spear in hand. I said before that I wouldn't do anything when I get those secret manuals, but I didn't say that I wouldn't do anything here." The young girl coldly snorted as she quibbled. Boom! The young lady waved her hand and unleashed the demonic palm imprint. 3 huge palm prints as black as ink struck toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming waved his long spear to block it. Although Lu Ming's power of fire had increased, he was still not a match for the young lady. He was forced to retreat by the strong palm force. "Let's go to the fire formation." Lu Ming's figure flashed and he sprinted towards the passage from before. When Lu Ming dashed into the passage, the surroundings shone with bright runes again. Then, flames and flame spirits appeared and charged at Lu Ming. When the beautiful girl rushed in, many other flame spirits also rushed toward her. "Get lost!" The young girl shouted and struck out a few times in a row. She defeated 5 to 6 flame spirits and charged toward Lu Ming. "Don't think I'm afraid of you." Lu Ming was really angry. He roared and waved his long spear. The surrounding flames were driven by him and followed the momentum of the spear. They condensed into a fire dragon and blasted toward the young girl. Boom! The fire dragon and the girl's demonic palm collided. The black genuine chi and the fiery red flames exploded, sweeping in all directions. A few fire spirits nearby were directly blown away. Lu Ming and the young girl swayed at the same time and they were equally matched. In the fire formation, Lu Ming's combat strength was stronger while the young lady was suppressed. Lu Ming was completely able to fight her. "Let's see how you're going to take my storage ring. Now, I'm going to hit you." Lu Ming shouted loudly, waving his long spear and lashing it at the young girl. You! The young girl gritted her teeth, and her pair of beautiful palms continuously struck out with dense palm energy. Boom! Boom! The rumbling sounds continued as Lu Ming and the young girl exchanged dozens of moves. However, Lu Ming became more and more courageous as the battle progressed, while the young girl's essential qi was slowly depleting. Previously, he had already expended a lot of energy to clear this passage. Now that he was fighting with Lu Ming, he naturally expended even more energy. On the other hand, Lu Ming had the advantage of the environment. He did not consume much energy in the fire array. Bang! After exchanging another blow with Lu Ming, the young girl retreated and left the passage. If you win, I'm not going to fight with you anymore. I'm so tired. The young girl retreated a distance and sat on the ground. She was drenched in sweat and panting. Lu Ming walked forward cautiously and finally left the range of the large array in the passage. As soon as he left, the flames in the passage disappeared. Lu Ming did not go too far away from the passageway. He sat cross-legged at the entrance so that if the young lady attacked, he could escape into the passageway at once. All right, I won't fight with you anymore. You're lucky to have obtained such a great opportunity this time. The young girl gritted her teeth and said, as if she was very unwilling to accept this. You should have gained more than me, right? We're the same. Lu Ming said with a smile. I spent a lot of effort to get in here. You've gained a lot. That's it. I see you're tired. Let's adjust our breathing together. Don't sneak an attack. The young girl said unhappily. I'm afraid you'll sneak attack me. Lu Ming pursed his lips. After that, the two of them began to regulate their breathing. Of course, they both kept a part of their attention on each other, afraid that the other would suddenly attack. 3 hours later, the two of them stood up at the same time. You've taken advantage of me before. Let's see how you're going to take advantage of me later. The girl snorted coldly and walked toward the altar behind the skeleton. Chapter 169. Chapter 169, Beast King Soul. Lu Ming was a little surprised. He did not know why the young lady was walking toward the altar. The young girl walked to the side of the altar and circled around it, carefully sizing it up. Sometimes he observed carefully, sometimes he frowned in thought, and then he smiled. Just like that, after half an hour, the girl began to inscribe the inscription. The young lady's slender fingers began to move in the air. Her fingertips contained true qi, and as she moved them in the air, a strange pattern appeared. This was an inscription, and the girl was inscribing an inscription. Carving runes in the air, what a brilliant technique! Lu Ming sighed secretly. Even though he didn't know much about the Tao of inscription, he still had some basic knowledge. Generally speaking, it was not possible for a martial grandmaster to carve an inscription in the air. Inscriptions appeared in the air and flew toward the altar. On the stone altar, the ancient patterns seemed to come to life, emitting a faint halo. Open it! A moment later, the young girl shouted and waved her hands, sending inscriptions into the altar. Soon after, the sacrificial altar buzzed and emitted rays of light that were extremely bright. Roar! Suddenly, the roar of a beast came from the altar. A fierce tiger rushed out of the altar and leaped into the air. The tiger was 3 meters tall and 6 meters long. It stood in the air and roared into the sky. It was majestic and a powerful aura spread out. A beast soul, what a complete beast soul! Lu Ming was shocked to see this. This fierce tiger didn't have a physical body, but it looked like it had a physical body. This was definitely a beast soul left behind by an extremely powerful demonic beast, and it was very complete. Heavenly demonic soul condensing technique, take it! The girl shouted, and her whole body emitted a black light. Her hands formed a series of strange seals, and then, a black light shrouded the tiger beast soul. The tiger beast soul roared continuously. A strong pressure filled the cave, pressing down on Lu Ming's heart like a mountain. What a powerful beast soul! This beast soul was extremely powerful when it was alive. It must be a rank 4 demonic beast, and not an ordinary one at that. Lu Ming was shocked. The tiger beast's soul roared, but it was useless. It turned into a ray of light and was put away by the girl. Oh! After the tiger beast's soul was put away, the altar roared again, and a giant black wolf appeared in the air. Just like the tiger beast's soul from before, this giant wolf was also a beast soul. Judging from its aura, it was not any weaker than the tiger beast's soul from before. CSI. As soon as the beast soul of the giant wolf appeared, another cry was heard, and a giant snake more than 30 meters long appeared in the air. Another beast soul. There were so many powerful beast souls sealed in this stone altar. The real treasures are here. These are all beast souls of Half-Step King Realm. They were refined by the ancestors of the Dongi tribe with a secret technique. They are complete. If you merge them with your body, you can burst out with great power. It's a pity that you can't take them. Only I can. The young girl glanced at Lu Ming and laughed heartily. She was extremely pleased with herself. Then, the girl formed a seal and began to collect the beast souls. Soon, the girl put away the beast soul of the giant snake. At this moment, a bird-type beast soul with flames all over its body appeared. It screeched continuously and danced in the air. However, the altars seemed to have a force that restrained them, making it difficult for them to escape. At this moment, Lu Ming's expression changed. This was because he felt that the demon-subduing spear in the Supreme Shrine was buzzing and vibrating, as if it was particularly excited. Don't tell me. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. With a thought, the demon-subduing spear appeared in his hands. The moment the demon-subduing spear appeared, it trembled violently and flew out with a whoosh. The spear emitted a bright light that enveloped the two beast souls. Gah! With two roars, the two beast souls turned into two beams of light and were absorbed by the demon-subduing spear. Then, the demon-subduing spear flew back to Lu Ming's hand. Not far away, the beautiful girl was dumbfounded. She opened her cherry-like mouth and stared at the altar with her big watery eyes. Then she stared at Lu Ming. To be more precise, she stared at the demon-subduing spear in Lu Ming's hand. After a long while, she let out an earth-shattering scream. Demon-subduing spear, how did you get a demon-subduing spear? The young girl shouted in disbelief. Buzz! At this moment, the altar trembled violently. It was 10 times, dozens of times stronger than before. Thump thump. A rumbling sound came from the altar, as if some great demon was about to step out. Boom! With a violent vibration, a giant Silavir wolf rushed out of the altar. The giant wolf was covered in Silavir white fur that flickered with a crystal-like luster. It stood in the air, and its height was 5 meters and its length was more than 10 meters. Oh! And NBSP, the giant Silavir wolf appeared and howled at the sky, releasing an unbelievably powerful pressure. Lu Ming's expression changed drastically. It was as if he had been hit by a huge mountain. He retreated a few steps and spat out a mouthful of blood. The young girl was not much better off. She was also retreating, her face pale. Terrifying, it's too terrifying. What level is this beast soul of? It's only a beast soul, but it can emit such a terrifying pressure. How powerful must it have been when it was alive? Lu Ming looked at the Silavir wolf beast soul in the air, shocked beyond words. Beast King, this is the soul of the Beast King, huh? The girl laughed and quickly formed a seal with her hands. A black light enveloped the Silavir wolf. Buzz! At this moment, the demon-subduing spear trembled violently and also emitted a ray of light that shot toward the giant Silavir wolf. Oh! The giant Silavir wolf howled at the sky. However, he was only a beast soul, not a physical body. His aura was powerful, but he did not have much combat power. Kid, what are you doing? Why aren't you putting away your demon-subduing spear? The young girl shrieked. Put it away? Why should I keep it? Didn't you say I can't accept it? Lu Ming sneered. Detestable. The young girl was helpless. She could only frantically form hand seals and snatch the beast's soul from the demon's subduing spear. The two rays of light covered the giant Selavir wolf soul and started to tear it apart. Buzz! In the end, the soul of the giant Selavir wolf actually split into two. Half was taken away by the girl, and the other half was taken away by the demon's subduing spear. Buzz! The demon-subduing spear flew back into Lu Ming's hands. You actually stole half of my Beast King soul. Return it to me. The young girl glared at Lu Ming fiercely. I won't. Lu Ming refused decisively and kept the demon-subduing spear. Beast King soul, this is a Beast King soul. With your current cultivation and physical strength, you can't use it at all. You should return it to me. The young girl glared at Lu Ming resentfully. Her large eyes were misty as if she was about to cry. She looked very pitiful. I won't. Lu Ming was unmoved and firmly refused. What a joke. This was the soul of a beast king, and it had been preserved by the Dongyi tribe with a secret technique. Even the outside world couldn't buy it. It was so precious that it was impossible to return it. Chapter 170. Chapter 170, Lu Ming is dead. Bang! Right at this moment, the stone altar suddenly exploded, turning into rubble that scattered in all directions. The moment the altar exploded, the entire world shook violently. Outside the cave, the disciples of the mystical sword sect and the Dongyi tribe stood opposite each other, waiting for the people inside to come out. Suddenly, the world shook and the earth rumbled. Boom, boom, boom. In some places, there were even huge cracks on the ground. What's going on? I don't know. Something's not right. The disciples of the mystical sword sect and the Dongyi people were all shocked. In the sky, wind and clouds gathered, lightning flashed, and thunder rumbled. It was a scene of doomsday. Kachachi! Bolts of lightning that were thicker than one's thigh lit up the sky. Then, everyone saw a shocking scene. The space actually cracked open, and a hole appeared. It was pitch black inside, as if it led to the abyss of hell. Not good. This dimension is about to collapse. Go quickly, get out of this dimension. Otherwise, we'll all die. Let's go. Everyone let out a cry of shock and rushed towards the door of light. Junior brother Lu Ming has yet to come out. What should we do? Chen Quan shouted. If he doesn't come out in time, he's dead. Who cares about him? Go, go, go. The leader of the White Tiger Hall's young men shouted. Everyone used all their strength and ran at high speed, wishing they had 2 more legs. As they ran, the world trembled even more violently. The earth cracked and the space crumbled. In the cave, Lu Ming's expression changed drastically. What's going on? Lu Ming said. This altar is the core of this plane. Now that the altar has collapsed, this small plane will also collapse. The young girl said indifferently. What? Then let's go. Lu Ming's expression changed drastically and he was about to rush out. It's too late to leave now. This cave mansion was built by a martial king realm expert. It's covered with a large number of profound inscriptions. When the realm collapses, the inscription formation will automatically activate to protect it. People from the outside can't enter, and people from inside can't leave either. The young girl said, Can't get out? Then aren't we going to be trapped here until we die? Lu Ming's expression was a little ugly. The young girl smiled and squinted her eyes. Yeah, I'm going to be trapped here for the rest of my life. Humph, I can't get out now. It's useless for you to take the beast soul. Give it back to me. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat and he fell into deep thought. After a long while, a faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. It seemed that the girl had known in advance that the plane would collapse. Since she knew, she still dared to collect the beast soul in the altar and was so calm, she must have a way to get out. At this thought, Lu Ming's heart was set. He smiled and heaved a long sigh. AI. There's nothing I can do. If I'm really trapped here, it's destined that I'll have to face this calamity. I can only accept it. As he said that, Lu Ming's gaze swept across the young girl's body and he praised, Besides, it's not bad to have such a beauty as a companion. If you feel bored, we can have a bunch of children to keep us company. What do you think? Have a child? A pile? The veins on the young girl's forehead were already throbbing. You're despicable and shameless. In your dreams. Let me tell you, this plane won't collapse completely. There's a teleportation formation under the altar. 3 months later, when the plane stabilizes, we can teleport out. You still want to have a child with me? But, you're dreaming. The young girl shrieked as she pointed at Lu Ming with a trembling finger. Oh, I can go out? Lu Ming touched his nose and smiled. Umph. The young girl realized that she had fallen into Lu Ming's trap. She snorted coldly and glared at Lu Ming. AI. It's a pity. Actually, if we really can't get out, it's not bad according to my idea. Lu Ming sighed. Not bad, your head. The young girl gritted her teeth. If not for the fact that Lu Ming could make use of the flame array in the passageway to greatly increase his combat strength, she would have taken him down and let him know the consequences of offending her. However, she was not confident now. She could only tell herself that if there was a chance, she would teach Lu Ming a lesson in the future. Boom, boom, boom. Heaven and earth continued to shake, and it was becoming more and more intense. Outside the cave, the disciples of the mystical sword sect and the Dongyi tribe were running for their lives. An hour later, everyone finally returned to the door of light that they had come in from. Without any hesitation, everyone rushed into the light door. When they reappeared, they had already returned to the 9-demon mountain. After returning to the 9 demons mountain, everyone let out a long breath. I'm finally safe. A Dongyi man laughed. The 2 patriarchs haven't come out yet. Another person said. The Dongyi people fell silent and waited. The disciples of the mystical sword sect did not leave either. They stood nearby, waiting to know the result. Half an hour later, the door of light exploded with a bang. Forefather! Someone from the Dongyi tribe shouted sorrowfully. The light door had exploded, and the plane had collapsed. Under such circumstances, only a martial king could survive. Even a martial grandmaster would die, let alone a grandmaster realm warrior. Those who didn't come out were dead. The atmosphere among the Dongyi people was heavy. Junior brother Lu Ming. Chen Quan sighed. The other disciples of the mystical sword sect sighed as well. Lu Ming, a genius who had created miracles time and time again ever since he entered the mystical sword sect, had fallen in this plane just like that. What a pity! However, this was how the path of martial arts was. No matter how talented one was, if they didn't grow up, they could fall in the future. On the continent, there were countless peerless geniuses who died every year. Lu Ming is dead. The disciples of the White Tiger Hall laughed in their hearts, especially those from the Duanmu family. Let's go! In the end, the mystical sword sect disciples and the Dongyi tribe didn't continue their battle. Instead, they all rushed towards Dongke City. The news of Lu Ming's death also spread like wildfire. In the underground cave of the Dongyi ruins, Lu Ming and the young lady waited quietly for an hour and a half. The tremors outside finally died down. Hey, how about this? You name a price, and I'll buy those beast souls. What do you think? The young girl looked at Lu Ming again, still thinking about the beast souls. I'm not selling. Lu Ming still refused very straightforwardly. These beast souls had been refined by a secret skill. At a critical moment, they could be fused with him and burst out with a powerful force. This was a life-saving item. How could Lu Ming be willing to sell it? Let me tell you, although this beast soul can increase your combat strength for a short time, you can't use it with your current cultivation and physical body. If you fuse it with your body, you'll definitely explode and die. The young girl said, You don't have to worry about this. Lu Ming was stubborn. You fuck. The young girl gritted her teeth. In the end, he snorted coldly and turned around to leave. Hey, we're going to spend so much time together. I can't keep calling you K, right? My name is Lu Ming. What's your name? Lu Ming said. The young girl stopped and turned around. Remember, my name is Xian Yanqing. This name will be your nightmare from now on. With that, he turned around and left in a huff. Chapter 171. Chapter 171. Xian Yanqing, Earth Rank Martial Skill. Lu Ming smiled and walked to the side of the cave. This underground cave was very large, and there were 5 to 6 holes on the walls, scattered around the walls. There might be some treasures in these caves that were worth exploring. The entrance wasn't big. After walking in, they found that it was a small cave, which should have been excavated by someone. Inside, there was a stone bed, a stone table, and a few stone stools. Other than that, there was nothing else. Lu Ming looked around and was a little disappointed. He walked out of the cave and went to another cave. There was still nothing to be found in the cave. Lu Ming shook his head and walked out. He saw Xian Yanqing walking out from another cave. Lu Ming, I'm telling you, from today onwards, half of it belongs to me and the other half belongs to you. You're not allowed to step into the caves I'm in. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. Xian Yanqing waved his hand and drew a line in the middle. Fine, I won't go. Lu Ming pursed his lips. Xian Yanqing's eccentric temper was something he had learned from experience. Seeing that Lu Ming had agreed, Xian Yanqing turned around and walked into a cave in a huff. Take a look at that storage ring and those 2 secret manuals. At the thought of this, Lu Ming's heart burned with passion. He could not be bothered with Xian Yanqing. He turned around and walked into a cave. He sat cross-legged on a stone bed. With a single thought, he appeared in the Supreme Shrine. He moved his hand and the storage ring appeared in his hand. This is a storage ring left behind by a martial king. What's inside? Lu Ming was filled with anticipation. He had an idea to enter the storage ring to take a look. However, the next moment, Lu Ming was stunned. His mind couldn't enter because it was blocked by a layer of inscriptions. There were inscriptions on the storage ring that were extremely powerful and prevented others from peeking. Lu Ming was dumbfounded. Then, he wailed in his heart, this can't be played like this, right? It was not easy to get a martial king realm storage ring, but he could not open it. I don't believe it. Lu Ming gritted his teeth and held the storage ring in his hand. He circulated his essential qi and wisps of essential qi gushed toward the inscription on the storage ring like a dragon. With a swish, the genuine qi dissipated, but the inscriptions did not move at all. It's been so many years, but the inscriptions are still so strong. Lu Ming was speechless. Then he continued to channel his true qi. Similarly, the genuine qi dissipated, but the inscriptions remained. My cultivation is too weak, I can't open it at all. No, the inscription is slightly weakened. Suddenly, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He sensed it carefully and found that the inscriptions on the storage ring had weakened a little. Although it was only a trace and could be ignored, it showed that Lu Ming's essential qi had some effect on the storage ring. As long as there was an effect and he persevered, he would be able to open it sooner or later. Continue. Lu Ming roused his spirits and continued to channel essential qi. 3 hours later, Lu Ming was sweating profusely and panting heavily. However, the inscriptions on the storage ring had only been weakened by a tiny bit, probably only 1/10,000th. Sigh, it seems like I can only grind it slowly in the future. As my cultivation improves, I will weaken the inscription and speed up the process. This is the storage ring of a martial king. It is worth the effort. Lu Ming thought to himself. Now, let's take a look at the 2 secret manuals. He took out 2 secret manuals and started reading. Lu Ming was overjoyed when he opened it. The first book was called Ancient Shield Technique, and it was a low-level Earth-grade defensive martial skill. It was actually an Earth-level martial arts technique, and it was a rare defensive martial arts technique. Lu Ming could not help but be delighted. One had to know that in the mystical sword sect, an Earth-grade high-level martial skill was the most top-notch martial skill. It was the sect's most important martial skill, and ordinary people had no right to cultivate it. And LT, Ancient Shield Technique, Earth Grade Low Level. After successfully cultivating it, one would be able to form an ancient shield to protect themselves. At the first stage, one could form an ancient shield. At the second level, one could form 2 ancient shields. And so on. When one cultivated to the 6th level, they would be able to condense 6 ancient shields. Moreover, the ancient shield could be controlled and stacked on defense at will. Even though it was similar to the defensive martial skill that Duan Gang cultivated, its might and profoundness were many times stronger. If I can cultivate this martial technique, how strong will my defense be? Lu Ming's heart was burning. This was an Earth-grade martial skill, and its power was much greater than a profound-grade martial skill. As long as one cultivated the first stage of an Earth-grade low-level martial arts technique, its power would be comparable to the 6th stage of a Black-grade high-level martial arts technique. Its power was simply unimaginable. Lu Ming's current Black-level low-grade martial arts technique had not even been cultivated to the 6th stage of the fire gun technique, let alone the 6th stage of the Black-level high-grade martial arts technique. After finishing the ancient shield technique, Lu Ming started to read another book. 3 Palms, a low Earth-grade martial skill. It was another low-level Earth-level martial arts technique. Lu Ming's heart was beating wildly. Lu Ming took a closer look and was envious of the power of the 3 Palms. Which one should he cultivate? Although the power of a low Earth-level martial skill was extremely strong, the difficulty of cultivating it was equally terrifying. Now that there was no chanting, Lu Ming's speed of understanding the martial arts technique would definitely slow down. It was impossible for him to cultivate 2 books at the same time. He could only choose one to try. Let's train the ancient shield technique first. In terms of attack, I have the fire gun technique, and I haven't trained it to the highest level yet, so there's no rush. Lu Ming made up his mind to cultivate the ancient shield technique first. After that, he put away the manual and started to study the in detail. The Earth-level martial arts technique was extremely mysterious. Lu Ming had spent a few hours but still could not figure out the way. No rush, no rush. An Earth-rank martial skill is definitely not that easy to cultivate. I just need to spend some time every day to slowly comprehend it. Lu Ming secretly warned himself. At this moment, Lu Ming's essential qi had almost fully recovered. Lu Ming stood up and walked to the 3rd platform. He placed 9 spiritual crystals on the stone platform. Soon, a figure was formed. Let the training begin. Lu Ming muttered and rushed toward the figure. Boom, boom, boom. The 2 figures continued to bombard each other. In the process of the battle, Lu Ming constantly looked for the shortcomings in his martial arts techniques and made up for his weaknesses. Such a battle made rapid progress. When his essential qi was exhausted, Lu Ming stopped. He pondered on the ancient shield technique while he recovered his essential qi. A few days passed by in a flash. Lu Ming realized that every time he put in 9 spiritual crystals, the figure could only last for 6 hours before it disappeared. Lu Ming had made great progress in the continuous fierce battles. His martial arts technique had improved significantly. A few days later, Lu Ming left the Supreme Shrine and came to the passage. He fought with the flame spirit and comprehended the force of fire. Every day, Lu Ming had a full schedule and strived to improve his ability as soon as possible. Xian Yanqing was also hiding in the opposite cave, probably cultivating. Just like that, a month passed. Lan Yu. In that passage, Lu Ming's long spear swept across and more than 10 flame spirits were swept away and exploded in the air. The fire gun controlling art has finally reached perfection. I've reached the 6th level, human and martial arts as one. Lu Ming's eyes brightened and his lips curled into a smile. Chapter 172. Chapter 172. Chapter 172 Bitter Cultivation. After a month of hard work, he finally made a breakthrough in the fire gun controlling art. He had reached the 6th level, human and martial arts as one. Lu Ming's combat strength had increased by another level. As for his fire force, it had also improved a lot, and he was getting closer and closer to small success. Unfortunately, the progress of the ancient shield technique was still quite slow. There was still a big gap to the first level. However, he was still improving in all aspects. Lu Ming roused his spirits and continued cultivating. The fire gun control technique had been perfected. Next, Lu Ming put more energy into the ancient shield technique and the force of fire. He spent most of the day fighting the flame spirit in this tunnel. His comprehension of the force of fire was advancing by leaps and bounds. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye, another month had passed. On the third platform of the Supreme Shrine, Lu Ming was engaged in a fierce battle with a blurry figure. That figure had completely replicated Lu Ming's combat strength. No matter how much Lu Ming improved, the other party would improve as well. Boom! Boom! In Lu Ming's hands, the fiery tongue spear was like a fire dragon. It danced in the air and exploded with great power. The space kept exploding. There's a flaw. Lu Ming's eyes suddenly lit up. His long spear was as fast as lightning, piercing towards the other party's right shoulder. Just as the tip of the spear was about to pierce into the man's shoulder, a light suddenly flashed on the man's body. A 1.5-meter long and 1-meter wide shield was formed. The shield looked very ancient and was bronze in color. It looked like the shield used by the ancient ancestors in the war. Clang! The spear struck the shield, creating a loud boom. Lu Ming shot with all his might, but the shield did not move at all. The huge force caused Lu Ming's long spear to bend. Whoosh! At this moment, the other party also thrust his spear at Lu Ming. It was as fast as lightning and it was too late to dodge. Ancient shield. With a single thought, an ancient shield that looked exactly the same as the other party appeared in front of Lu Ming. The other party's spear stabbed into the shield, but it did not move at all. This was the ancient shield technique. After 2 months of hard work, Lu Ming had finally succeeded in cultivating it 2 days ago. He had reached the first level and could condense an ancient shield to protect himself. The Earth-level martial arts technique was indeed an Earth-level martial arts technique. Its power was beyond Lu Ming's expectations. Even if he used all his strength, he could not break through it at all. With the ancient shield technique, as long as there was someone with similar battle strength to him, he could simply stand in an undefeatable position. Boom! Lu Ming and the figure both cast the ancient shield technique. They completely ignored each other's attacks and attacked each other wildly. Even if it's an Earth-rank martial skill, it should have its weakness. It's impossible for it to be without any flaws. What I need to do is to find the flaws of the ancient shield technique in the battle with myself. This way, my comprehension of the ancient shield technique will be greatly accelerated. Lu Ming was very clear that the figure condensed on the third platform had the same combat strength as him. As long as he kept trying to defeat him, his martial arts technique would continue to improve. The force of fire is just a little bit away from the initial success. I feel that it won't be long. Lu Ming's eyes were extremely bright. Lu Ming felt extremely refreshed as he was improving in all aspects. What could be more satisfying than watching yourself get stronger and stronger? The battle continued. Lu Ming only stopped when the 6 hours were up and the spiritual energy of the spirit crystal was almost exhausted. Holding a piece of spiritual crystal in both hands, Lu Ming started to recover. With the appearance of the spirit-devouring bloodline, the spirit energy in the spirit crystal was devoured and refined by the bloodline in the blink of an eye, turning into Lu Ming's essential qi. Not long after, Lu Ming's essential qi was restored and even improved. A few days ago, Lu Ming's cultivation had improved and he had reached the middle of the second-grade Grandmaster realm. After his essential qi had recovered, Lu Ming left the Supreme Shrine. He planned to take a stroll in the cave and relax. When they arrived at the cave, Lu Ming could not help but look at the cave where Xian Yanqing was. It had been 2 months. Xian Yanqing had been hiding in the cave and had not come out. Moreover, Lu Ming could vaguely hear the sound of running water. What's in that cave? Lu Ming's curiosity was overflowing and he decided to take a look. He retracted his aura and approached carefully. When they arrived at the entrance of the cave, the sound of running water became even clearer. Great, so there really is water. I haven't had a drop of water for a month. Lu Ming's eyes emitted a burning glow. Even though he had brought some water with him in his storage ring, he had already used it up a month ago. In this 1 month he hadn't had enough water. With his cultivation, it would be fine even if he didn't drink water for half a year because he could absorb the spiritual chi of heaven and earth to replenish his energy. However, it was still very uncomfortable. He tiptoed in and a river came into view. Yes, a river. There was actually an underground river here. It was 5 to 6 meters wide, and the river water was trickling. No one knew where it flowed to. How was this a cave? It was clearly another huge underground cave. However, Xian Yanqing was nowhere to be seen. Strange, where did Xian Yanqing go? Lu Ming walked to the underground river and looked around curiously. However, Xian Yanqing was nowhere to be seen. She might be cultivating in another cave. I'll take a shower first. Lu Ming had not taken a bath for 2 months and he felt that his body was going to stink. At this time, he saw an underground river and suddenly felt itchy all over. Lu Ming took off his clothes in no time. Voila! At this moment, the water in the river in front of Lu Ming splashed and a figure emerged from the water. Wasn't that Xian Yanqing? As soon as Xian Yanqing came out of the water, she saw a man standing in front of her. She was stunned as well. Her eyes widened and she stared at Lu Ming with a dumbfounded expression. Ah! A moment later, a deafening scream came from the cave. Nest! Lu Ming also came to his senses. He picked up his clothes and put them on in no time. Xian Yanqing, on the other hand, sank to the bottom of the river. After a few breaths, she came back up again. The difference was that she was wearing a long dress. Lu Ming, I'm going to kill you. Xian Yanqing shrieked and charged at Lu Ming like lightning. While in the air, he struck out a few palm strikes in succession. A few strong palm prints blasted towards Lu Ming. Third Great Master Realm. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. Obviously, Xian Yanqing had made a breakthrough in his cultivation in the past 2 months. Lu Ming did not take it head-on. Instead, he used his midair step and dodged Xian Yanqing's palm. After 2 months of cultivation, his midair steps had also improved to the 4th level. Don't even think about dodging. Xian Yanqing shouted and struck out 6 palm strikes in a row. All at once, 6 demonic palm prints flew towards Lu Ming. So strong, he's become stronger again. Lu Ming was secretly surprised. In the past 2 months, he had been improving, and so had Xian Yanqing. Chapter 173. Chapter 173. Chapter 173. 100-year-old shrimp. Hey, are you crazy? I didn't do it on purpose. Lu Ming shouted loudly and used his midair step to dodge with all his might. I don't care if it's intentional or not. In any case, you've seen it. I'm going to dig your eyes out. Xian Yanqing's eyes were cold. Fuck, so what if I saw it? I was even seen by you? How should we settle this? Lu Ming shouted angrily. Shameless pervert, despicable scum. Xian Yanqing's face was red with anger as he cursed incoherently. Lu Ming was speechless. Boom! Boom! Xian Yanqing's palm was even more powerful, sealing Lu Ming from all directions. Even if Lu Ming used the midair step, it was difficult for him to dodge. Ancient Shield. Without any hesitation, Lu Ming cast the Ancient Shield technique. An ancient shield condensed and floated in front of him. Boom! Boom! Xian Yanqing's demonic palm continued to hit the ancient shield. There was a series of violent explosions. The ancient shield in front of Lu Ming shook violently, but it was not broken. It had completely blocked Xian Yanqing's demonic palm. An Earth rank martial skill? You've actually cultivated an Earth rank martial skill? Xian Yanqing exclaimed in disbelief. Usually, Only martial arts grandmasters were qualified to cultivate Earth-level martial arts techniques. Now, Lu Ming had successfully cultivated it with his second-grade grandmaster realm cultivation. It was no wonder that Xian Yanqing was shocked. "Ha, now you know how powerful I am? It's already like this, why don't you just follow me and follow me in the future? Don't fight anymore, I won't lower myself to your level." Lu Ming laughed out loud, very cocky. "I'll dig out your eyes from your big head." Xian Yanqing shouted and launched a storm of attacks on Lu Ming. One had to admit that Xian Yanqing was too powerful. In terms of combat strength, Lu Ming was definitely not his match. However, Lu Ming had cultivated the ancient shield technique and all of Xian Yanqing's attacks were blocked by the ancient shield. Xian Yanqing struck dozens of times but did not manage to break Lu Ming's defense. Instead, he was so tired that he was panting. "Xian Yanqing, you're the one who was unkind first. You monopolize such a good place and you still have the cheek to hit me. Don't think I'm afraid of you." Lu Ming shouted coldly. While defending, Lu Ming did not forget to attack. His long spear pierced through the air and continuously attacked Xian Yanqing's vital points, but they were all dispersed by Xian Yanqing's palm force. The two of them exchanged hundreds of moves, and neither of them was able to defeat the other. After the last exchange, both of them retreated a dozen steps and stood facing each other. Xian Yanqing was panting heavily. His face turned red at the thought of the scene just now. He glared at Lu Ming fiercely. If looks could kill, Lu Ming would have been pierced through like a hornet's nest. Lu Ming was also sweating and panting like a bull. He held a few spirit crystals in his hand and controlled his blood meridian to recover with all his might. Although the power of an earth-rank martial skill was great, the consumption of true qi was also extremely terrifying. "Hey, why are you staring at me so hard? Do you still want to see it?" Lu Ming could not help but say. As soon as the words left his mouth, Lu Ming wished he could give himself a slap and secretly curse himself for having a cheap mouth. As expected, Xian Yanqing's eyes widened even more. A sharp murderous intent emerged from his eyes. He gritted his teeth so hard that they made cracking sounds. He wished he could bite Lu Ming. However, this time, Xian Yanqing did not make a move. Instead, he glared at Lu Ming and said coldly, "I'll let it go this time. Now, please leave this place." "I've already said it before, this place belongs to me." "Belong to you? Can you finish using this underground river? I'm going to take a shower now." After a huge battle, Lu Ming felt itchy all over. He could not wait to jump into the underground river and take a bath. "No," Xian Yanqing said coldly. "No? I'm a man, and a man can't say that he can't do it. Even if he can't, he has to do it today. Look, I'm undressing. If you like to look, you can look more." Having said that, Lu Ming began to undress. He realized that he couldn't use normal methods to deal with Xian Yanqing. It was easier to deal with him by being a little more shameless. As expected, Xian Yanqing's eyes burned with rage when he saw Lu Ming undressing. However, in the end he had no choice but to grit his teeth and leave. "Haha." Lu Ming laughed heartily. He took off all his clothes and jumped into the underground river. The river water was extremely cold. Lu Ming felt every pore on his body open up and a wave of comfort spread throughout his body. "Cool, this is too cool." Lu Ming could not help but sigh. After that, Lu Ming soaked in the water leisurely. There are fish in the water?" Lu Ming suddenly felt that there was something swimming around in the water. Lu Ming dived into the water. The underground river was quite deep, at least more than 10 meters deep. When Lu Ming dived in, he saw many Esilavir white shrimp the size of a palm swimming around. "So it's a shrimp. Wait, is this 100-year-old shrimp?" Lu Ming's eyes widened in surprise. The 100-year shrimp was a strange species that could live for at least 100 years. It was extremely rare, and it usually lived in some unpopulated places. The most famous thing about the centenarian shrimp was that its meat was extremely delicious and contained a large amount of essence. If a warrior ate it, it could continuously improve his body and increase the strength of his body. In the outside world, each of them could be sold for a sky-high price. However, Lu Ming could see a group of them at a glance. No wonder Xian Yanqing didn't want to leave. There are 100-year prawns here. How cunning! Lu Ming initially felt sorry for Xian Yanqing, but now he felt indignant. I'll catch it. Lu Ming's claws reached out, and essential qi gushed out, forming a net of essential qi that enveloped the centenarian shrimp. Voila! There were at least 20-odd century prawns caught by Lu Ming. He took out a jade box, filled it with water, and placed the prawns into the jade box before storing it in the supreme shrine. Then he twisted his body and swam forward like a fish, catching a group of 100-year prawns. In less than half an hour, Lu Ming had caught hundreds of century prawns. There are so many century prawns in this underground river. There should be more in other places. I'll come back in a few days. Lu Ming rushed out of the water, satisfied. He put on his clothes. When they walked out of the cave, they didn't see Xian Yanqing's figure. He should be in another cave. Lu Ming could not be bothered with them. He returned to the cave and sat on the stone bench. With a wave of his hand, a box of 100-year prawns was placed on the stone table. The centenarian shrimp was the size of a palm and was very white in color. Lu Ming picked one up and shook it to death with his essential qi. Then he peeled off the shell. It revealed the crystal clear and incomparably fat prawn meat. Lu Ming took a bite. It was extremely fresh and tender in his mouth. There was no fishy taste. Instead, there was a faint fragrance. It was indeed very delicious. Lu Ming finished a century shrimp in a few moves. Soon after, he felt a cool energy spread throughout his body, seeping into his muscles and bones. A numbing itch spread out, and it was very comfortable. Immediately, Lu Ming circulated the flaming Vajra arts to refine this energy and increase the strength of his body. The effects of the 100-year prawns are indeed astonishing. It's just as the rumors say. A moment later, Lu Ming felt that his physical body had improved. It was more effective than 10 days of bitter cultivation. Chapter 174. Chapter 174. Chapter 174 Return. Following that, Lu Ming ate more than 10 prawns in a row. After refining the essence of more than 100-year prawns, Lu Ming's physical body was getting closer and closer to the upper tier of the second stage. It tastes really good, but it should be better if I change the taste. Lu Ming clicked his tongue. Then his eyes lit up. He got up and walked out, coming to the flaming passageway. As soon as he entered the passage, flames and flame spirits emerged from the passage. Roast it for me. Lu Ming waved his hand and more than 10 centuries-old prawns appeared. They were controlled by Lu Ming's essential qi and floated in the air. Lu Ming had actually used the flames here to roast the prawns. If the Dongyi ancestors who had set up the inscriptions were to see this, they would be so angry that they would climb out of their coffins. The centuries-old prawns emitted a sizzling sound, and soon, the fragrance assailed his nose. As for the flame spirits, they were all blasted away by Lu Ming's long spear. As time passed, the fragrance became stronger and stronger. In the end, the fragrance filled the entire underground cave. Xian Yanqing's figure appeared at the entrance of a cave and looked over curiously. When she saw Lu Ming looking at her, she could not help but let out a cold snort and return to the cave. Lu Ming could not be bothered with her. At that moment, the century shrimp had been roasted and its entire body had turned red. He moved his index finger and went out of the passage. He picked up one and peeled it. The aroma was several times stronger after he peeled the shell. He couldn't wait to take a bite. It was soft and tender, and the fragrance was incomparably rich. It was several times more delicious than when it wasn't roasted. Cool, this is too cool. After that, Lu Ming finished the dozen or so roasted prawns like a tornado. He then returned to the cave in satisfaction to refine the essence of the roasted prawns. His physical body was constantly improving. Not long after, the essence of the dozen or so roasted prawns was refined. At this time, a strong fragrance came from outside. Lu Ming walked out of the cave and saw Xian Yanqing copying him. He was roasting prawns in the passageway. Xian Yanqing's face turned red when he saw Lu Ming. He glared at Lu Ming and snorted coldly before continuing to roast the prawns. Haha. Lu Ming laughed heartily. He returned to the cave and continued cultivating. 5 days later, Lu Ming finished his 100-year prawns and went to the underground river to catch more. Xian Yanqing was helpless. Lu Ming had cultivated the ancient shield technique, and she could not break it for the time being. She could only let Lu Ming catch more. To break through an Earth-rank defensive martial skill, only a similar Earth-rank offensive martial skill could have a possibility. Or perhaps his cultivation was too much stronger. Xian Yanqing's cultivation technique was special. She hadn't started to cultivate Earth-level martial skills yet. Just wait until I cultivate an Earth-grade martial skill, I'll make you suffer. Xian Yanqing could only comfort himself in this way. In this way, Lu Ming would go to catch the century shrimp every few days. Time flew by, and 3 months had passed since the collapse of the small plane. In the last period of time, with the help of the centenarian shrimp, Lu Ming's physical body directly rushed to complete second grade. The progress was so fast that Lu Ming was speechless. Therefore, in the last few days, Lu Ming was hunting for century prawns crazily and storing them. Of course, Xian Yanqing was the same. Almost all the 100-year prawns in that section of the river were caught. Once the 3 months were up, the place where the stone altar had exploded began to emit rays of light. On the ground, inscriptions glowed and covered the ground like a net. Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing stood at the side and waited. A few hours later, the inscriptions glowed and finally condensed into a door of light. Spatial path, teleportation gate. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He could finally get out after being trapped here for 3 months. He had gained a lot in the past 3 months. Although the cultivation environment here was much better than the outside world, if he stayed here all the time, his family and friends outside would definitely be worried. Moreover, cultivating arduously might not necessarily be more effective. A martial artist needed to train in the world of mortals, go through all kinds of things, and temper their mental state in order to keep improving. Buzz. Buzz. When the portal appeared, Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing moved at the same time and rushed into the door of light. After a moment of dizziness, Lu Ming realized that he was back on the 9 Demons Mountain when he calmed down. He and Xian Yanqing were standing on a huge stone statue of a demonic beast. Under their feet, there was a bright light. Then, the light dimmed and everything returned to normal. One-way teleportation. It seems like it's impossible to enter in the future. Lu Ming thought to himself. Lu Ming, I'll settle the score with you sooner or later. Xian Yanqing glared at Lu Ming. I'll play with you anytime, but don't get beaten up by me the next time you see me. Lu Ming smiled faintly. You beat me up? How was that possible? Next time, I'll definitely break your turtle shell and trample you under my feet. Xian Yanqing gritted his teeth and disappeared from the 9-demon mountain like a black butterfly. Lu Ming smiled and did not mind. I wonder how the war in East Lacking City is going. Lu Ming's thoughts returned to the war in East Lacking City. After that, Lu Ming's figure moved. He stepped on the tip of a tree and rushed toward Dongke City. After half a day, Dongke City was already in sight. But now, the situation in Dongke City was completely different from 3 months ago. 3 months ago, Dongke City was on high alert. But now, the city gates were open, and people were coming in and out. It seemed that the war in Dongke City had ended. After Lu Ming entered the city, he went straight to the city lord's residence. He wanted to find Fu Liang to find out more about the situation. When he revealed his identity as a mystical sword sect disciple, he naturally met Fu Liang without any obstructions. Lu Ming, you're not dead. Fu Liang was shocked to see Lu Ming. City Lord Fu, I'm fine. Lu Ming smiled bitterly. Young hero Lu Ming, it's great that you're not dead. The disciples of the mystical sword sect came back that day and said that you died in the ruins of the Dongi tribe. Fu Liang explained the situation during this period. 3 months ago, the mystical sword sect disciples had returned. There were only about 50 of them left, and they said that the rest had died in the Dongyi tribe's ruins. The Dongyi tribe also retreated to the mountains by the sea a day later. This incident shook the mystical sword sect. Many people came to look for Lu Ming, but they all returned empty-handed. Lu Ming guessed that those people should be Pang Shi, Feng Wu, Mulan, and the others. I heard that the mystical sword sect has confirmed your death in battle and has even informed your family. Fu Liang said. What? I've already informed my family. Lu Ming's heart tightened. How sad would Li Ping be if she knew that he was already dead? In Li Ping's heart, Lu Yuntian was already dead. Lu Ming was her only hope. If she knew that Lu Ming was dead, how desperate would she be? At this moment, Lu Ming's heart was set on returning home. City Lord Fu, thank you very much. I have to make a trip home now. Goodbye. Lu Ming cupped his fists and left the castellan's residence without a moment's delay. He rushed towards Fiery Wind City. Fortunately, Dongke City was not too far away from Fiery Wind City. Lu Ming used his midair steps and rushed at full speed. He was like a gust of wind, rushing towards Fiery Wind City. When his genuine qi was exhausted, he would use spiritual crystals to recover it. Lu Ming finally returned to Fiery Wind City 3 days later. Chapter 175. Chapter 175. A shocking change in the Lu clan. Ah, look who's that. Lu Ming, that's the Lu family's young master, Lu Ming. I heard that he's already dead, right? So he didn't die. Something big is going to happen. As soon as Lu Ming walked into Fiery Wind City, the crowd around him looked at him and started to discuss. Lu Ming frowned. He felt that the people around him were looking at him strangely. Other than surprise, there was also a trace of pity. Lu Ming was puzzled, but he did not stop. He went straight to the Lu family. Soon he arrived at the Lu family's gate. Who's there? Stop right there, huh? Young master? Lu Ming. A burly man guarding the door shouted. Then he saw that it was Lu Ming and let out a surprised cry. The other guards were also shocked. It's me. I'm not dead. Move. Lu Ming said. He was about to walk inside. However, a few burly men guarding the door pulled out their sabers and stood in front of Lu Ming. Lu Ming, you can't go in. Impudent. Lu Ming shouted, and his brows furrowed even more. The guards of the Lu family had actually called him by his name and even pulled out their knives to stop him. Something was wrong. Seeing that Lu Ming was angry, the few burly guards turned pale. Clearly they were afraid. Lu Ming, we're just following orders. No one is allowed to enter. One of them gritted his teeth. Orders? Whose orders? Lu Ming berated him, but the bad premonition in his heart grew stronger. Young master, leave quickly, don't come back. Suddenly, a white-haired old man rushed out and shouted. Uncle Chong, what's going on? Lu Ming shouted. This old man was an old servant of the Lu clan. He did not have much cultivation, but he had always been loyal to the Lu clan. Young master, it's the first patriarch. He's back with many powerful warriors. He wants to take over the Lu family. Several core patriarchs have been killed. The other branches of the Lu family have all turned to the first patriarch. You'd better leave. Uncle Chong shouted. What? Lu Yunxiong. Lu Ming's heart trembled. Where's my mother? How's my mother? The first person that Lu Ming thought of was Li Ping. Madam has been locked up in the courtyard of the main hall and interrogated by them for 2 days. This old servant also does not know what the situation is like. Young master, the great elder has brought many experts with him this time. You're not his match, so you'd better leave first. As long as you're alive, you'll have hope. Uncle Chong tried to persuade him, his old face full of worry. Boom, boom, boom. Uncle Chong's words were like bolts of lightning that exploded in Lu Ming's heart. In an instant, an indescribable cold, killing intent emanated from Lu Ming's body. Lu Yunxiong. Lu Ming muttered, his eyes extremely cold. At the same time, he was extremely afraid that something had happened to Li Ping. The few burly guards and Uncle Chong shivered and a chill ran up to their heads. Whoosh! Suddenly, a cold beam of light shot out from behind the door. It was too sudden. Lu Ming was shocked and wanted to save her, but it was too late. A sword light pierced through Chong Bo's back. Blood splattered everywhere as Chong Bo fell to the ground. "Young master, run, run!" Uncle Chong shouted and gradually lost his breath. A young man in his 20s walked out from behind the gate and said coldly, "Old man, you actually dared to disclose information. You're courting death." Then, he looked at Lu Ming with a slightly surprised expression. "Lu Ming, you're really lucky. You landed in the ruins of the Dongi tribe and you're still alive. But you shouldn't have come back. Since you're back, I'll send you on your way. Die." At this moment, Lu Ming's expression was calm, but the killing intent in his eyes was colder than 10,000-year-old profound ice. This young man had a green wood embroidered on his sleeve. He was obviously a young expert from the Duanmu family. "What? You want to kill me? I know that your combat strength is comparable to an ordinary 5th-grade Great Martial Master, but I'm also a 5th-grade Great Martial Master. Do you think that I'm just an ordinary 5th-grade Great Martial Master?" The young man from the Duanmu family sneered. "Nonsense, die." Boom. At this moment, Lu Ming erupted with all his might. The powerful genuine qi, coupled with the power of fire, was like a volcanic eruption. Boom! The long spear swept towards the youth from the Duanmu family. The youth from the Duanmu family's expression changed drastically as he raised his sword to block. Badash! Boom! Lu Ming's long spear collided with his long sword. It was as if he had been hit by a volcano. His body was like a cannonball, flying backward. He crashed into 2 walls in a row and was finally embedded in the 3rd wall. What? How is that possible? His eyes were filled with disbelief and fear. With just one move, all the bones in his body were broken, and he was embedded in the wall like a pool of mud. How could Lu Ming be so powerful? He was a genius, and his combat strength was not comparable to an average 5th-grade grandmaster. Yet, he could not even withstand one move from Lu Ming. Lu Ming held the spear in his hand and walked towards the youth from the Duanmu family. The few burly men guarding the door were so scared that their souls almost left their bodies and they were trembling all over. "Lu Ming, don't kill me. The Duanmu family has a 9th-grade grandmaster here. If you kill me, your entire family will die, and your mother will be in a miserable state." The youth from the Duanmu family cried out in shock. Whoosh! The long spear in Lu Ming's hands turned into a ray of light and shot out, piercing through the young man's heart and nailing him to the wall. Lu Ming leaped over 2 walls, pulled out his long spear, and headed toward the Lu family's courtyard. The Lu clan's courtyard was outside the Lu clan's conference hall. It occupied a large area. At this moment, an old man was sitting on an armchair at the entrance of the conference hall, resting with his eyes closed. There were more than 10 people standing around the old man. One of them was Lu Yunxiong, who was staring at the courtyard with a cold expression. In the courtyard, Li Ping and the 4 core elders of the Lu clan stood together. They were surrounded by more than 30 burly men. These people were basically from the Duanmu family. However, there was an exception, and that was Ning Kong. Yes, it was Ning Feng's father, one of the chief elders of the Vermilion Bird, Ning Kong. "Li Ping, have you thought it through? Announce to the entire Lu family that you'll pass the position of the Lu family's patriarch to me. Then, kneel down in front of everyone and apologize to me. Admit that you've let me down." Lu Yunxiong coldly looked at Li Ping and said, "You wish. You're dreaming." Li Ping rejected him directly. "Don't even think? I've starved you for 2 days, but it seems that it's not enough. Then continue to starve and stand here. I'll see how long you can hold on." Lu Yunxiong said gloomily. Li Ping's face was pale, and her body was trembling. She looked extremely weak. It had been 2 days. It had already been 2 days. She had been forced to stand in the courtyard by Lu Yunxiong. She had no food, no water, and had to endure the scorching sun. Li Ping was only an ordinary person and did not practice martial arts, so she could not protect herself with true qi. At this time, she was extremely weak and could collapse at any time. Chapter 176. Chapter 176. Lu Ming did not die. Lu Yunxiong, just give up. Even if I die, I won't let you have your way. Li Ping berated. Bitch, what's the use of you hanging on? Your husband is dead. Now that little bastard Lu Ming is dead too. I want all of you to die for opposing me. Lu Yunxiong berated. You're talking nonsense. My son, Lu Ming, will never die. Li Ping shouted. Won't die? Don't lie to yourself, he's already dead, you have no one to rely on. Lu Yunxiong laughed coldly as he attacked Li Ping. Ming, ugh. Li Ping's body trembled, and tears welled up in her eyes. Although she did not admit it, she knew very well that Lu Ming had really met with an accident. The mystical sword sect had specially sent someone to announce it, so how could it be wrong? She was in despair. Lu Yunxiong, aren't you afraid of being punished by the higher-ups of the mystical sword sect for what you've done? One of the core elders shouted. Haha, punishment? When Lu Ming was alive, he was indeed a peerless genius and was valued by the mystical sword sect. But now that he's dead, who would punish me for a dead person? Besides, you should have seen that everyone here is from the Duanmu family. Why would the higher-ups of the mystical sword sect punish the Duanmu family? What a joke! Lu Yunxiong laughed maniacally. The other men from the Duanmu family also laughed out loud. What a pity, what a pity. It's a pity that Lu Ming the little bastard is dead. Otherwise, I'll kill his mother in front of him and let him have a taste of losing a loved one. Ning Kong said coldly. Bah, shameless man. Like father like son. Look at you. No wonder your son died at Ming's hands. Li Ping glared at Ning Kong and said in disdain. You're looking for death. Ning Kong was furious. He said to Lu Yunxiong, Brother Lu, I don't think we should wait any longer. Let me do it now and torture this bitch. I want her to suffer a fate worse than death. At that time, she will agree to whatever conditions you have. Lu Yunxiong, let's do this. We don't have that much time to waste here. The elder from the Duanmu family who was sitting on the armchair opened his eyes. Good. I'll leave this person to you, Brother Ning. You can do whatever you want with him, and use whatever methods you have. Lu Yunxiong sneered. Lu Yunxiong, what are you guys doing? Are you even human to treat the Lu family like this? A core elder of the Lu family bellowed. Bang! Suddenly, Ning Kong moved and struck the core elder with his palm. Ning Kong was a 9th grade Grandmaster Realm expert and a core elder of the Lu family. How could he withstand the attack? His body was pierced through by the powerful palm force and he flew out. He stopped breathing. You old fogies, you're looking for death by chirping here. Ning Kong said coldly. You guys? You'll all die a horrible death. Lu Yunxiong, you'll receive your retribution. The other 3 core elders shouted. Now, only 3 of the 7 core elders of the Lu family were left. The rest had been killed by the Duanmu family 2 days ago. Shut up, you old fogies. I wanted to spare your lives, but it seems like there's no need for that now. Attack and kill them all. Lu Yunxiong waved his hand. Buzz. And NBSP, Bush. Around them, a few of the Duanmu family's men unsheathed their sabers and were about to attack. At this moment, a bloodied man ran in. It's bad, it's bad. The burly man shouted. What's going on? Lu Yunxiong's expression changed. Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming. The burly man exclaimed. Everyone was shocked by his words. What Lu Ming? Lu Ming is already dead. Lu Yunxiong said, No, he's not dead. He's not dead. He's entered the place. The burly man shouted, his eyes flashing with fear. What? Lu Yunxiong and the others were shocked. As for Li Ping, The three core elders were stunned for a moment before they were overjoyed. Didn't die. Didn't die. Li Ping mumbled to herself and cried tears of joy. Her tears kept falling and she was so excited that her entire body was trembling. The young master didn't die. I knew it. The young master is a genius. How could he die? The core elder of the Lu clan laughed. Impossible, how is that possible? Lu Yunxiong roared. Nothing is impossible. A cold shout came from the sky, and a young figure stepped on the void. His body was as light as nothing, and he actually floated in just like that. Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming. It's really him. He really didn't die. Exclamations of shock came from the crowd. It's really the young master. The three core elders laughed. Li Ping was extremely excited. Lu Ming, it's really him. Lu Yunxiong and Ning Kong growled in shock. Lu Ming did not look at the others. He took a few steps forward and landed in front of Li Ping like the wind. Looking at Li Ping's pale and weak face, Lu Ming's heart throbbed with pain. His eyes reddened as he said, "Mother, your son has come late and has made you suffer." Is that really you? Mother thought that she would never see you again. Li Ping touched Lu Ming's face, tears streaming down her face. Initially, she really thought that Lu Ming had died and her heart was filled with despair. Now, Lu Ming was standing in front of her alive and well. This kind of joy was indescribable. She seemed to have recovered a lot of energy. "Mother, take this pill." Lu Ming took out a pill that could replenish blood and qi and let Li Ping consume it. Li Ping took the medicinal pill, but her expression changed drastically as if she had recalled something. She said, "Ming, leave quickly. Don't worry about Mother, leave quickly." "Leave? Since you're already here, you still want to leave? What a joke." Lu Yunxiong's voice was cold. Lu Ming turned around slowly. His expression was cold and his eyes were icy. His gaze swept across Lu Yunxiong, Ning Kong, and the other members of the Duanmu family. He said coldly, "All of you will die." Lu Ming's killing intent was extremely strong. He had never felt such strong killing intent towards a person. A dragon had a reverse scale, and anyone who touched it would be killed. To Lu Ming, his family was his weak spot. Lu Ming, you still want to kill us? What a joke. Lu Yunxiong laughed. "Kill him. Lu Ming must be killed. Kill him and we'll pretend that he didn't appear today and died in the Dongyi ruins." The old man sitting on the armchair stood up and coldly said, "If Lu Ming were to return to the mystical sword sect, it would be difficult for them to take action. He might as well kill Lu Ming today and pretend that he had not appeared and died in the Dongyi ruins. This way, the higher-ups of the mystical sword sect would not find out as long as they did not send anyone to investigate. Lu Ming, it's good that you're not dead. Today, I'll kill the person closest to you in front of you and let you have a taste of the pain of losing a loved one." Ning Kong laughed. "Lu Ming, you're really stupid. If I were you, I'd run back to the mystical sword sect. How dare you show up here so openly? You're the one who's looking for death." Lu Yunxiong laughed. Chapter 177. Chapter 177. Chapter 177. The Outbreak of a War. "Young master, leave quickly, don't worry about us." One of the core elders shouted. "Kill! Kill!" However, Lu Ming's killing intent soared to the heavens. His aura exploded as he swept his spear at the Duanmu family members. "Kill him!" Lu Yunxiong shouted. "Buzz! Buzz!" One after another, sabers were unsheathed. The Duanmu family's burly men roared in anger and slashed at Lu Ming. Dozens of people attacked together. However, Lu Ming's long spear swept past and the saber light collapsed. 5 to 6 burly men were swept away by Lu Ming like cannonballs. They crashed into the walls of the courtyard and slid down like mud, not breathing at all. "Kill!" Lu Ming shouted angrily and swept his spear again, killing another 7 to 8 burly men. These were all martial artists at the Master Realm. They were far inferior to Lu Ming. Attack! Great Martial Master, the Lu Yunxiong was furious. On the stairs, more than a dozen Grandmaster Realm martial artists dashed out and pounced on Lu Ming. The weakest of the dozen or so Great Martial Masters was at the 1st grade Great Martial Master Realm, and the strongest was at the 5th grade Great Martial Master Realm. More than a dozen people joined forces, and their power was astonishing. Landslide. In an instant, Lu Ming burst out with all his strength without holding back. Bloodline, power of fire, all of them were unleashed, and his combat strength was fully unleashed. During this period of time, Lu Ming had made great progress. Before he came out, he had finally achieved small success in the Force of Fire. The Force of Fire was at the initial success stage and its power was extremely terrifying. It made Lu Ming look like he was filled with scorching heat, as if he was a volcano with raging flames. Boom! Lu Ming did not care about the attacks. He swept his long spear with the force of a landslide. Bang! Bang! The result was the same as before. Lu Ming crushed them like rotten wood. 4 to 5 Grandmaster Realm powerhouses were sent flying. Their bones were broken and their internal organs were shattered. They died before they even landed on the ground. Strong, unbelievably strong. Lu Yunxiong and the others gasped in shock and anger. Li Ping and the 3 core elders were shocked and overjoyed. Kill! Lu Ming's killing intent was like the tide, his aura was like a rainbow, and his eyes were bloodshot. Boom! He swept his spear again and killed a few more great Master Realm experts. Lu Ming held the spear in his hand and was like an undefeatable god of war. He killed his way through as if no one was there. The Duanmu family members were shocked and couldn't help but retreat. This kid can't be left alive. He's too terrifying. Ning Kong, Lu Yunxiong, and the others roared in their hearts. They were extremely shocked. Every time he saw Lu Ming, he would realize that Lu Ming's abilities would increase by a huge margin as if it would never stop. I'll kill him! Ning Kong bellowed and pounced at Lu Ming like an eagle. In the air, he struck out with his palm. Ning Kong, a 9th grade Great Martial Master, struck out with an earth-shattering palm. The space rumbled and the air exploded. A terrifying pressure surged toward Lu Ming. Ancient Shield. An ancient shield appeared in front of Lu Ming. Explode! At the same time, Lu Ming unleashed his most powerful move, blasting it at Ning Kong's palm force. Boom! A terrifying blast of air rolled in all directions and Lu Ming's attack was crushed. The powerful palm force continued to blast toward Lu Ming. Li Ping turned pale with fright. At this moment, Li Ping was being led by 3 core elders and retreated to a corner of the courtyard. Clang! The powerful palm force slammed into the shield in front of Lu Ming, causing a violent explosion. The ancient shield trembled continuously and then exploded with a loud bang. Lu Ming's body was thrown backward more than 20 meters and he crashed heavily into a wall before he stopped. He spat out a mouthful of blood. A 9th grade Great Martial Master is indeed powerful. Lu Ming was secretly shocked. Just now, he had already resisted with all his strength. First, he used the move of explosion to cut off a part of the palm power of the other party, and then he used the ancient shield spell to block it. Even with his complete 2nd grade physical body, he was still injured by the palm. My bloodline is indeed useless against an existence 5 levels higher than me. Lu Ming sighed secretly. Just now, the time for his bloodline to burst out hadn't ended yet. He could have devoured half of the attack, but it had failed. Ning Kong's cultivation was 7 levels higher than his. The difference was too great. Lu Ming was shocked. He did not know that Ning Kong and the others were even more shocked. Lu Ming had managed to block Ning Kong's palm. Although he was injured, he was not killed. This was unbelievable. Especially Ning Kong himself, who was even more shocked. One should know that he was a 9th grade Great Martial Master. Although he did not use his full strength, He was confident that even an 8th grade Great Martial Master would be injured by his palm. What cultivation level was Lu Ming at? 2nd grade Great Martial Master realm. How was this possible? An Earth rank martial skill? You actually cultivated an Earth rank martial skill. The old man from the Duanmu family who had been sitting on the wooden armchair shouted madly. What? An Earth rank martial skill? The others were even more shocked. Earth rank martial arts skills were extremely rare, and the difficulty of practicing them was even more shocking. Weren't they usually only practiced by martial arts grandmasters? Lu Ming was only a 2nd grade Great Martial Master and he had successfully cultivated it. Kill, we must kill him. At this moment, Lu Yunxiong, Ning Kong, and the elder from the Duanmu family were all screaming in their hearts. They were afraid. Lu Ming's talent was too terrifying. If he was allowed to grow, only God knew what he would become. That would be their disaster. Only by killing them in the cradle could they avoid this disaster. Boom! The aura on Ning Kong's body grew. The old man from the Duanmu family also released his aura. He was at the peak of the 9th grade Great Martial Master realm, and he was even stronger than Ning Kong. Lu Ming, you're going to die today. Lu Yunxiong roared. Oh really? You're the one who will die today. Lu Ming's voice was very indifferent. Ming, you hurry up and leave. You're not their match yet. As long as you leave, they won't dare to do anything to me. Li Ping shouted, extremely worried. The few of them were too powerful. Lu Ming was obviously not their match. Mother, don't worry. I'll kill whoever hurts you, even if he's at the end of the world. Lu Ming smiled faintly. At this moment his hand glowed, and the blazing tongue spear disappeared. In its place was the demon-subduing spear. Beast soul, I didn't expect to use it so soon. Lu Ming muttered. That's right, he planned to merge with the beast soul and fight with Ning Kong and the others. The demon-subduing spear had 2.5 beast souls. 2 of them were at the peak of martial ancestor realm, and were known as half-step king warrior beast souls. The other half was a king-level beast soul. Lu Ming intended to fuse the beast soul of a peak martial arts grandmaster. However, there was a huge risk involved. With Lu Ming's current cultivation and physical strength, he was not confident that he could withstand the backlash. However, this was the only way. Beast soul, come out. The demon-subduing spear shook and a beast's roar was heard. A giant black wolf flew into Lu Ming's body. Boom! At this moment, Lu Ming's body exploded with an extremely powerful aura. This aura was powerful, evil, brutal, and filled with bloodlust. Roar! Lu Ming could not help but roar. His voice did not sound like that of a human but like that of a wolf. Not good. He is fusing with a beast soul. It is a powerful beast soul. Stop him! The elder from the Duanmu family roared in shock and anger. Chapter 178. Chapter 178. Chapter 178 Killing Ning Kong. Boom! Boom! The elder from the Duanmu family and Ning Kong made their moves. 2 terrifying attacks were directed at Lu Ming. Roar! Lu Ming roared and leaped forward, sweeping his long spear horizontally. The air exploded, the space trembled, and water-like ripples appeared. With 2 loud bangs, the elder from the Duanmu family and Ning Kong trembled and were sent flying backward. Ning Kong was even worse off. He spat out a mouthful of blood. How can he be so strong? What level is that demonic beast? Ning Kong cried out in disbelief. With such a powerful beast soul, he won't be able to hold on for long. He'll explode from the power of the beast soul. Let's attack together and make him explode faster. The elder from the Duanmu family roared. At this moment, Lu Ming was indeed under great pressure. The violent energy of the beast soul was rampaging in his body. It was extremely violent. His muscles and bones were groaning as if they were about to burst at any moment. Even his complete grade 2 body could not withstand it. At this moment, a blood-red light flashed from his spine, and a powerful devouring force came out. The devouring power had offset most of the violent tearing force. This greatly reduced the pressure on Lu Ming. Kill! Lu Ming let out a long howl and strode forward. His target was Lu Yunxiong. He had to kill Lu Yunxiong. Save me! Lu Yunxiong's face turned pale with fright. His legs trembled as he retreated. At that moment, the elder from the Duanmu family and Ning Kong arrived again. The other members of the Duanmu family also joined in the attack. Beams of sword qi, saber radiance, and palm force tore through the air and attacked Lu Ming. Sky-ripping wolf! Lu Ming roared, his long hair dancing in the wind and his aura demonic. As the spear stabbed out, wolf howls were heard. From the spear, huge black wallevers flew out. This was the combat skill of the beast soul of the giant black wolf. As it had been integrated with the beast soul, Lu Ming could use it for a short period of time. The black wallevers pounced at the Duanmu family's experts with their claws. Ah! Ugh! Miserable shrieks rose and fell as more than a dozen Duanmu family men were torn apart. The elder of the Duanmu family and Ning Kong were forced back by 7 or 8 black wallevers. Kill! Lu Ming wielded his spear and charged at the remaining Duanmu family members like a tiger charging into a flock of sheep. Blood splattered everywhere, and the air was filled with blood. At this moment, Lu Ming had turned into a god of death, slaughtering to his heart's content. Every time a spear shadow flashed, a person would be killed. In just a few breaths, more than 20 people had been killed. Yaoma, go! The remaining 10 Duanmu family members were scared out of their wits and ran for their lives. Lu Ming's figure flashed and he killed a few more people. Retreat! Lu Ming is no match for us now. Let's retreat first. The old man from the Duanmu family was so frightened that his face was trembling. He roared repeatedly and then let out a long howl. Ga! Then, a bird cry came from the sky. The 2 eagles flew down. You want to retreat? Stay here. Lu Ming shouted and swept his long spear. Boom! Boom! The elder from the Duanmu family and Ning Kong joined forces and exchanged a blow with Lu Ming. However, the result was that the 2 of them were forced to retreat. Ning Kong's face turned pale and he spat out another mouthful of blood. Let's go! The old man from the Duanmu family used the force to retreat to Lu Yunxiong's side. He grabbed Lu Yunxiong and shot up 100 meters into the sky. Even though a 9th grade great martial master couldn't fly, he could still leap a few hundred meters high. At this time, the 2 eagles had also reached this distance. The elder from the Duanmu family and Lu Yunxiong landed on the back of a huge condor. The condor screeched and soared into the sky. Lu Yunxiong was Lu Yao's father and Duanmu Lin's future father-in-law. He had an extraordinary status, so of course he had to save him. Bang! At this moment, Ning Kong took a step forward and his body rose high into the air as well, flying towards the other large eagle. Stay here! Lu Ming bellowed. His body shot up into the sky like a cannonball and charged towards Ning Kong. Landslide! The long spear was like a mountain pressing down as it charged towards Ning Kong. Blood butcher! Ning Kong roared and spat out 2 mouthfuls of blood. He exerted all his strength and struck out a few times with a terrifying aura. His blood and palm energy condensed to form several blood-red palm prints that flew toward Lu Ming. Ning Kong was going all out. He had even used his secret skill. However, it still could not stop Lu Ming. The fusion of the beast soul at the peak of the martial arts Grandmaster realm made Lu Ming's strength infinitely close to the martial arts Grandmaster realm. He stood at the peak of the martial Grandmaster realm. Ning Kong was no match for him at all. As the long spear struck down, the palm prints were destroyed one by one. Ning Kong coughed up blood and flew back. Using this self-mutilating method, he finally landed on the back of the large eagle. Lu Ming's body was falling. Ha Lu Ming, you're dreaming if you think you can kill me. You've killed so many people from the Duanmu family. They won't let you off no matter what. Ning Kong laughed. But as he laughed, he spat out a mouthful of blood and his face turned as white as a sheet. That's right, Lu Ming. Just you wait for the Duanmu family's wrath. Your Lu family will be burned to ashes in this fury. The elder from the Duanmu family and Lu Yunxiong were riding on a huge eagle, floating thousands of meters in the air. The old man from the Duanmu family said coldly. The Duanmu family had suffered heavy losses in this battle. Even he himself had been forced to flee. This was a great humiliation, and the anger in his heart burned. Lu Ming, just wait for your death. Lu Yunxiong roared. Who allowed you to leave? All of a sudden, a cold voice came out of Lu Ming's mouth as he was falling. His feet suddenly stomped in the air and his body actually stopped falling. Instead, he rushed up. At this moment, his strength had increased dramatically, and even the power of his soaring steps had increased by a large margin. Why would I? Ning Kong was shocked. He was only a few hundred meters above the ground. It was too late for him to fly up. He could only try his best to control the eagle and escape. The eagle spread its wings and flew forward rapidly. Die! Lu Ming bellowed. He held the spear in one hand and bent his body into a bow shape. Then the spear was thrown out. With his body as a bow and his spear as an arrow, the long spear whistled like a bolt of lightning. It was unbelievably fast. This was Lu Ming's all-out spear attack. In an instant, it crossed a distance of hundreds of meters and stabbed Ning Kong. No! Ning Kong wailed, but it was too late for him to dodge due to his severe injuries. Poochie! The long spear pierced through Ning Kong's chest, bringing out a stream of blood. There was a big hole in Ning Kong's chest, and his eyes were filled with extreme unwillingness and fear. As for the eagle, it was shocked by the killing intent of the spear. It wailed repeatedly and actually stopped in the air. Whoosh! Lu Ming took a few steps back and crossed hundreds of meters in an instant, landing on the back of the large eagle. Lu Ming, Lu Ming! Ning Kong cried out in despair. Then, his life force dissipated and he stopped breathing. Let's go! Above, Lu Yunxiong and the elder from the Duanmu family were so scared that they almost peed their pants. They quickly urged the eagle to fly in the direction of the mystical sword sect. Lu Ming raised his head and took a look. He circulated the essential qi in his body and burst it out. The eagle under his feet wailed and obediently followed his orders, falling down. Ming, are you all right? Li Ping quickly walked over and asked with concern. Mother, I'm fine. Lu Ming smiled. Chapter 179. Chapter 179. Chapter 179 Pursuit. Young Master! Young Master! The three core elders of the Lu clan were shocked. Their young master had actually grown to this stage. In their eyes, the Duanmu family's expert was so powerful that he was invincible. However, in Lu Ming's hands, he was like a baby who could not fight back at all. In their hearts, other than shock, there was still shock. They were unable to calm down for a long time. Three elders, please take care of my mother. Lu Ming looked at the three core elders. Yes. The three core elders said subconsciously. Ming, what do you want to do? Li Ping's expression changed. Lu Yunxiong must die. Mother, don't worry. I'll be fine. Lu Ming smiled. Then, Lu Ming's blood meridian was condensed. Lu Ming did not avoid it. He opened his mouth and sucked. The blood essence of the Duanmu family's experts who had died in the courtyard flew out and gathered toward Lu Ming. There were a few 5th and 4th grade Grandmaster realm martial artists among them. They were of great help to Lu Ming. Mother, I'm leaving. Lu Ming said and leaped onto the big eagle. Ming, be careful. Li Ping shouted. Mother, don't worry. Lu Ming nodded his head solemnly. He then stepped on the condor. The condor screeched and flew into the sky. The condor soared into the sky and the Lu clan disappeared in the blink of an eye. Lu Ming controlled the condor and chased after Lu Yunxiong and the others. At this moment, Lu Ming's aura was rapidly declining. The power of the beast soul was finally exhausted. Lu Ming had returned to his original level, but he felt a sharp pain all over his body. This was caused by the impact of the beast soul's power on his body. It's a good thing I have the spirit-devouring bloodline, which devoured most of the power. Otherwise, with my current cultivation and physical body, I really wouldn't be able to withstand it. Lu Ming thought to himself. After that, he continued to refine the power of his blood essence and started to recover his genuine qi and repair his body. Not long after, the blood essence had been completely refined. Among them, the blood essence of a few fifth-grade Grandmaster experts was of great help to Lu Ming. His cultivation broke through to the peak of the second-grade Grandmaster realm in one go. As for his physical injuries, they had almost recovered. At this moment, Lu Ming's gaze fell on Ning Kong's corpse on the back of the condor. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Ning Kong was a ninth-grade Grandmaster expert. His blood essence was definitely terrifying. Lu Ming did not want to miss it, but he did not dare to devour it rashly. The blood essence of a ninth-grade Great Martial Master isn't something I can devour and refine right now. I'm afraid my bloodline will explode if I devour it. Lu Ming pondered. There was a limit to how much blood a bloodline could devour. Lu Ming felt that devouring experts who were 3 to 4 levels higher than him was already a little strenuous. His blood vessels would expand. The blood essence of a ninth-grade Great Martial Master was equivalent to the blood essence of more than 60,000 second-grade Great Martial Masters. There were more than 60,000 of them. It was too terrifying. Lu Ming guessed that if he devoured them, his blood vessels would explode from the violent energy. Forget it. I can't be too greedy. I'll just swallow a drop and see. Lu Ming made up his mind. He then controlled his blood meridian and carefully devoured a drop of blood essence. Boom! In an instant, it was as if a volcano had erupted in his blood meridian. Violent energy wreaked havoc. Lu Ming's spirit-devouring blood meridian, which was originally in the shape of a small snake less than a meter long, swelled up at this moment. Its length had increased by several times, and its thickness had also increased by 10 times. The energy was too terrifying. Even if it was just a drop of blood essence, its energy was equivalent to the blood essence of more than 7,000 second-grade Grandmaster realm martial artists. Refine, refine. Lu Ming bellowed. He controlled his blood meridian with all his might and started refining it crazily. And NBSP, hoo-hoo. Streams of pure energy gushed into Lu Ming's body. He circulated the true War Dragon technique continuously to absorb the energy and convert it into essential qi. Lu Ming's cultivation level increased rapidly. However, Lu Ming controlled the blood meridian and most of the energy essence was absorbed by the blood meridian itself to improve the level of the blood meridian. Otherwise, the energy was too huge and Lu Ming would not be able to absorb it. Only about 20% of the energy was converted into genuine qi. The other 80% was used to upgrade the level of the bloodline. Lu Ming's cultivation was rapidly approaching the third-grade Great Martial Master realm. Boom! Half an hour later, Lu Ming's body shook. He had broken through to the third-grade Grandmaster realm. After breaking through to the third-grade Grandmaster realm, Lu Ming's refining speed had increased greatly. There was a constant flow of energy being converted into essential qi. Early third-grade Great Master realm, middle third-grade Great Master realm. When he reached the mid-third-grade Great Martial Master realm, his soul-devouring bloodline let out a roar. Immediately after, the sixth blood-red chakra shone brightly. His bloodline had advanced to the 6th level. With a 6th-level bloodline, the devouring power was greatly enhanced, and the speed of refining blood essence was also greatly increased. The body of the spirit-devouring bloodline was slowly shrinking. 18 hours later, Ning Kong's drop of blood essence had been completely refined. On the other hand, Lu Ming's cultivation had reached the peak of the third-grade Grandmaster realm in one fell swoop. He was only one step away from the fourth-grade Grandmaster realm. Of course, this was because most of the essence had been used to improve the level of his bloodline. This also caused Lu Ming's blood meridian to rise to the peak of level 6. His 6 meridian cycles were bright and full, as if a new meridian cycle could be born at any time. The higher one's bloodline level was, the more blood essence one would need to advance. However, Lu Ming's bloodline had advanced by an entire level this time. One could only imagine how terrifying the blood essence of a 9th grade grandmaster was. Lu Ming opened his eyes and looked at Ning Kong's corpse. He felt that it was a pity. Half a day had passed, and the essence of Ning Kong's blood essence had dissipated. The higher a martial artist's cultivation, the slower the dissipation of their blood essence after death. However, for a 9th grade great martial master, the essence of their blood essence would dissipate in 3 hours at most. Genuine qi burst out, and Ning Kong's corpse fell down. With one less person, the condor's speed increased greatly, and it quickly chased forward. A few hours later, he could see a black dot in the distance. It was Lu Yunxiong and the others. It's Lu Ming. Lu Ming has caught up with us. Clearly, Lu Yunxiong had also noticed Lu Ming and was so shocked that he cried out. This little bastard still dares to chase after me? Is his beast soul power still there? How is that possible? The elder from the Duanmu family had a dark expression. Lu Yunxiong, I've told you that you're going to die. You can't escape. Lu Ming shouted, his voice was extremely cold. What do we do? Elder Chow, what do we do? Lu Yunxiong mumbled, frightened out of his wits. Could it be that the power of this little bastard's beast soul really hasn't dissipated? Or he still has another beast soul? The elder from the Duanmu family was called Duanmu Chao. He was deep in thought as he looked at Lu Ming behind him with fear in his eyes. There's no need to rush. We're almost at the mystical sword sect. Once we reach the sect, Lu Ming, that little bastard, won't be able to do anything to us. At that time, he'll be the one to die instead of us. Duanmu Chao said with a dark expression. It would take about 10 days to get from Fiery Wind City to the mystical sword sect on a green scale horse, but it would only take about a day to get there by riding the condor. And now, they were only a few hours away from the mystical sword sect. Chapter 180. Chapter 180, Killing Their Way into the White Tiger Hall. Hurry up and fly. Hurry, hurry. Duanmu Chao's Jinqi burst out and surged into the condor's body. The condor shrieked as if it had been stimulated by something. It sped up and rushed forward. The two eagles, one in front and one behind, were about 10,000 meters apart as they quickly flew towards the mystical sword sect. On Lu Ming's side, as there was one less person, their speed was faster. The distance between them was slowly closing. However, it was still impossible to catch up to him in a short time. Soon, 3 hours had passed. The distance between them was only about 2,000 meters. However, they were already close to the mystical sword sect's territory. Oh, we're almost there. We're finally almost there. Lu Ming, you still want to kill me? Dream on. Lu Yunxiong laughed hysterically. However, the killing intent in Lu Ming's eyes did not diminish and was still extremely strong. Buzz. Buzz. Soon, the mountain gate of the mystical sword sect was in sight. The eagle screeched and flew over the mystical sword sect's mountain gate, heading toward the White Tiger Hall. However, Lu Ming did not show any signs of stopping. He continued to give chase. What's going on? Why hasn't Lu Ming stopped? Lu Yunxiong was a little confused. It's fine. He's just bluffing. Lu Ming won't dare to mess around when we get to the White Tiger Hall. Duanmu Chao said confidently. One after the other, the two eagles flew past the mountain gate of the mystical sword sect. Then who's on the eagle? The one in front seems to be the chief elder of the White Tiger Hall. The one behind him looks familiar. Wait, Lu Ming. It's Lu Ming. Lu Ming? What? Lu Ming. It's really Lu Ming. Oh my god, Lu Ming is not dead. It's really him. Lu Ming is not dead. Instantly, the entire mystical sword sect was in an uproar, and the news spread like wildfire. Lu Yunxiong, I don't care where you run to. I'll kill you today. Lu Ming's voice, filled with killing intent, reverberated throughout the front mountain of the mystical sword sect. This is bad. Senior brother Lu Ming is going to kill the people of the White Tiger Hall. By the looks of it, he's going to kill all the way to the White Tiger Hall. No, I have to tell Pang Shi, Feng Wu, and the others about this. I'll have them inform Elder Mulan. A few of the Vermilion Bird's disciples' expressions changed drastically as they rushed toward the Vermilion Bird. Who? In front of them, Lu Yunxiong and Duanmu Chao were riding on a huge condor, quickly heading towards the White Tiger Hall. They were about to arrive. Lu Ming was in hot pursuit 1,000 meters behind. The sight of two huge eagles flying above the mystical sword sect without restraint naturally caused a commotion. Lu Ming isn't dead. He's in hot pursuit of the chief elder of the White Tiger Hall and threatened to kill Lu Yunxiong. Who's Lu Yunxiong? You're so ignorant, right? Duanmu Lin's fiancée, Lu Yao, you should know her, right? Lu Yunxiong is Lu Yao's father, and I've also heard that Lu Yao and Lu Ming are from the same clan. I see. But how is it possible that Lu Ming is chasing after a chief elder? I don't know, but something big is definitely going to happen. Let's go and take a look. Below the mystical sword sect, a large group of people gathered and headed towards the White Tiger Hall. A few minutes later, Lu Yunxiong and Duanmu Chao arrived at the White Tiger Hall first. The huge eagle landed on a huge square in the White Tiger Hall. As soon as it landed, the condor began to foam at the mouth and twitched on the ground. Along the way, this large eagle had burned its potential and finally could not hold on any longer. Lu Yunxiong and Duanmu Chao jumped down and stood on the square. The two of them felt much more at ease when they arrived. We're finally safe. Lu Yunxiong was overjoyed. He looked like he had not recovered from the shock. He had really been scared out of his wits by Lu Ming. Don't worry. Lu Ming won't dare to make a move here even if he has 10 more guts. I'll report this to the dean and I'll personally bring people to take Lu Ming down. He's killed so many people from the Duanmu family. No one can save him. Duanmu Chao put his hands behind his back and returned to his calm expression. The White Tiger Hall was the Duanmu family's headquarters. Who would dare to come here and kill? Unless he didn't want to live. He was certain that Lu Ming was about to stop. Lu Ming really stopped. He drove the big eagle and floated in the air above the square. Impudent! Lu Ming, you've killed dozens of my Duanmu family's men, and now you're driving a condor into the White Tiger Hall? You're so audacious and sinful. Get down on your knees and beg for mercy right now, and I might leave you with an intact corpse. Duanmu Chao chided with his hands behind his back. Lu Ming, come on. Didn't you want to kill me? If you have the ability, come down and kill me, ha. Lu Yunxiong laughed out loud and looked at Lu Ming with contempt. But the next moment, the smile on his face froze. This was because Lu Ming had jumped down from the condor and landed heavily on the square with a loud boom. He stomped on the stone slabs on the square and crushed them, sending gravel flying. You don't have to shout. I've said it before, I'll definitely kill you. It's useless no matter where you hide. Lu Ming walked towards Lu Yunxiong, step by step. Lu Ming, what are you doing? How dare you? This is the White Tiger Hall. Lu Yunxiong's expression changed drastically. He couldn't help but take a few steps back as he shrieked. However, Lu Ming's eyes were extremely cold. He only said one word, kill. How arrogant! Men, Lu Ming has killed dozens of people from the Duanmu family. He's gone mad and has lost his mind. Let's attack together and kill him. Duanmu Chao could no longer remain calm as he roared. There were many people from the White Tiger Hall in the square. At that moment, one of them rushed over. Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming. He's not dead. I don't care if he's dead or not. How dare he kill so many of my Duanmu family's people? He didn't die before, but he's dead now. Attack and kill him. Some of them were Silavira-ranked disciples of the White Tiger Hall, while some were middle-aged men. They had been cultivating for many years, and most of them were at the martial grandmaster realm. Those in the Master Realm didn't dare to rush over. Boom! Lu Ming held the demon-subduing spear in his hand. His aura was wild, and his long hair fluttered in the wind. He shouted coldly, "My target is Lu Yunxiong and the other man. If you don't want to die, get lost." Arrogant. Let's see what you can do. He's just a bronze disciple. In my eyes, he's nothing. A few Esilavir rank disciples shouted. These people were all 5th grade Great Martial Masters, and some of them were even 6th grade Great Martial Masters. If that's the case, then kill. Lu Ming's killing intent exploded. He shook the demon-subduing spear and a beast soul fused into his body. The second beast soul at the peak of the martial ancestor realm. In an instant, Lu Ming's aura increased crazily, like a demon. Kill! The long spear swept out, and a spear light as thick as a water bucket and as long as 100 meters appeared, sweeping away thousands of soldiers. Bang! Bang! Dozens of White Tiger Hall disciples were sent flying. A dozen of the weaker ones had their bodies blasted apart. In an instant, more than a dozen great martial masters were killed. CSI! Some of the White Tiger disciples who did not rush forward gasped, their eyes almost popping out. One spear, just one spear, killed more than a dozen martial Grandmaster Realm experts, and more than a dozen were seriously injured. It was too powerful. How audacious! How audacious! Lu Ming massacred his fellow disciples. He's going to rebel. A disciple from the White Tiger Hall shouted. I've said it before, it's none of your business. If you don't want to die, get lost. Lu Ming roared, his aura was wild. Chapter 181. Chapter 181. Chapter 181. Something big happened. You've come to the White Tiger Hall and you're telling us to get lost? How is that possible? We have to take Lu Ming down and give him the harshest punishment. The White Tiger Hall disciple roared. However, no one was able to get close at the moment. Lu Ming, you're so audacious and arrogant. You'll die today. A long howl was heard, and 3 figures rushed over like the wind. Chief Elder, 3 Chief Elders, Lu Ming is dead for sure. A disciple of the Duanmu family shouted. Kuei Feng, you've come at the right time. Let's attack together and take down Lu Ming, that evil creature. Duanmu Chao roared in ecstasy. I'll kill you first. Lu Ming let out a long howl and charged toward Duanmu Chao. Lu Yunxiong, on the other hand, was hiding behind Duanmu Chao in fear. He had never imagined that Lu Ming would actually dare to attack the White Tiger Hall and kill more than a dozen Grandmaster Realm powerhouses in one move. How could he be so bold? At this moment, even though he was in the White Tiger Hall, he felt a chill in his heart. At the sight of Lu Ming charging at him, his face turned even paler and he retreated frantically. Boom! The long spear in Lu Ming's hands turned into a pillar that held up the sky and shot toward Duanmu Chao. Damn it! Since Lu Yunxiong was behind him, he could not retreat. He could only brace himself to receive Lu Ming's attack. When he clashed with Lu Ming's long spear, his body trembled as if he had been electrocuted. He retreated more than 10 steps and spat out a mouthful of blood. Quickly come and help me! Duanmu Chao roared in shock. Kill! Kill! Finally, the 3 chief elders of the White Tiger Hall arrived. 3 terrifying attacks were launched at Lu Ming. Following that, Duanmu Chao charged toward Lu Ming. 4 9th grade Great Martial Master Realm experts surrounded Lu Ming. Lu Ming let out a long howl and his aura was wild as he fought with 4 9th grade Great Martial Master experts. His energy swept in all directions and the entire square was in a frenzy. Lu Ming was fighting 1 against 4, but he was not at a disadvantage. At this moment, even more people had arrived. Not only were there disciples from the White Tiger Hall, but there were also disciples from other halls. When they saw this scene, everyone's mouth was wide open in disbelief. Lu Ming could actually fight 1 against 4 and fight 4 9th grade Great Martial Master Chief Elders. This was simply unbelievable. The news of Lu Ming's assault on the White Tiger Hall spread like wildfire throughout the mystical sword sect. Vermilion Bird Hall, Lu Ming's dormitory. At this moment, Pang Shi, Mulan, and Feng Wu were sitting together in the courtyard. All of them had serious expressions on their faces, as if they were deep in thought. It's all my fault. I should have followed senior brother Lu Ming and the others when they went to pursue the Dongi tribe. It's all my fault. Pang Shi clenched his fists so tightly that the veins on his arms were visible as he spoke in pain. Big Rock, don't be silly. This has nothing to do with you. With your cultivation, how could you have followed them? You don't have to blame yourself. Feng Wu said. However, from her pained expression, one could tell that she was very upset. Lu Xuan and Lu Ming, did he really fall just like that? Feng Wu sighed in her heart. When the plane collapses, even a martial arts grandmaster can't escape death, let alone Lu Ming. I don't want to believe you either. Mulan sighed. Her eyes were filled with grief and sorrow. Lu Ming, is this all you've got? Was he just going to leave like this? Originally, I thought that you would grow into a powerful expert. Also, I still owe you a reward. How can you just leave like this? Mulan thought to herself. Also, fuck. Mulan gritted her teeth, her eyes misty. Some time ago, the sect has informed Lu Ming's family. From what I know, Lu Ming's only close relative is his mother. It can be said that Lu Ming is his mother's only hope and reliance. Feng Wu said. As soon as he said that, the atmosphere became even more solemn. Why don't we go to senior brother Lu Ming's house together and visit his mother? I don't want her to be too sad. Pang Shi suggested. I think so too. Let's stay at the Lu residence for a period of time and accompany Lu Ming's mother. Feng Wu also nodded. Then we'll leave tomorrow morning. Mulan said. At this moment, the door of the courtyard was pushed open heavily. Two young men ran in, panting heavily. Pang Shi, Elder Mulan, it's great that you're all here. Something big has happened. A skinny young man with a head full of brawny men said. Bulls, why are you two in such a hurry? What's the matter? Why are you two so anxious? Feng Wu asked with a slight frown. These two young men were the same batch of disciples as Lu Ming and were very familiar with Pang Shi and the rest. Lu Xuan, Lu Ming. It's Lu Ming. He's back. The bulls panted and shouted. Bang, bang, bang. As soon as he finished speaking, Mulan and Feng Wu's auras burst out uncontrollably. At the same time, they jumped up from their seats as if they had been electrocuted. Fuck, what did you say? Senior brother Lu Ming was back? Which Lu Ming? Pang Shi's eyes were wide open, and he was practically roaring. Meanwhile, Mulan and the rest were also staring at Niu Huan with their eyes wide open. Their eyes were filled with an indescribable hope. Of course it's senior brother Lu Ming. He's ranked first on the bronze ranking. The bulls seemed to be infected by their expressions and also roared. Senior brother Lu Ming. Haha, it was really senior brother Lu Ming? Bulls, are you sure you didn't see wrongly? Pang Shi laughed and grabbed the bull's shoulders tightly. Of course I'm not mistaken. Not only the two of us saw it, but many of our fellow disciples saw it too. Another young man said. Lu Ming, run. Mulan clenched her fists tightly as she muttered to herself. Her body was moving up and down as her beautiful eyes flickered with extreme surprise. Lu Ming is not dead. This is great news. Bulls, why are you shouting that something bad has happened? Feng Wu asked after taking a few deep breaths to calm herself down. Senior brother Lu Ming is heading for the White Tiger Hall. The bulls shouted. What? Mulan and the other two turned pale with fright. What's going on? Mulan asked anxiously. I don't know. We only saw senior brother Lu Ming riding on a huge eagle and chasing after elder Duanmu Chao from the White Tiger Hall and a man called Lu Yunxiong. I heard senior brother Lu Ming shouting that he must kill Lu Yunxiong. Duanmu Chao also shouted that senior brother Lu Ming had killed dozens of experts from the Duanmu family. After that, Senior brother Lu Ming and the others went to the White Tiger Hall, and we rushed back. The bulls said, Lu Yunxiong? Oh no, did something happen to the Lu family? Lu Yunxiong knows about Lu Ming's death and he wants to take action against the Lu family? Mu Lan's expression changed. She had stayed in Fiery Wind City for a long time and was quite familiar with the Lu family's affairs, so she could guess the general situation at once. This is bad. Something must have happened to the Lu family. Knowing Lu Ming, he'll definitely kill Lu Yunxiong. However, if he goes to the White Tiger Hall, he'll definitely die. I'll get Grandpa to save him now. Mu Lan's expression was extremely ugly. After saying that, she rushed out in a hurry. With a flash, her figure disappeared. Let's go to the White Tiger Hall. Mu Lan, Feng Wu, and the others also hurried toward the White Tiger Hall. Chapter 182. Chapter 182. Chapter 182 Fighting a Grandmaster. At this moment, not only Mulan and the others, but many other disciples and elders from the four halls also rushed to the White Tiger Hall when they heard the news. In the square of the White Tiger Hall, Lu Ming and the four chief elders had already exchanged dozens of moves. Lu Ming's aura was demonic, and the more he fought, the braver and stronger he became. The more he fought, the more he was able to use the power of the beast soul. Boom! As he pulled out his spear, one of the White Tiger Hall's chief elders was sent flying while coughing up blood. Those who block me shall die. Lu Ming let out a long howl and shot out several spear rays. The spear rays were shocking and seemed to be able to pierce through space. Bang bang bang. The remaining three were sent flying back, spitting out blood. Lu Yunxiong, it's your turn. Lu Ming strode out and charged at Lu Yunxiong. His target had been Lu Yunxiong from the beginning. Don't. Save me. Lu Yunxiong's expression changed drastically. He ran back frantically while screaming. Stop him. Lu Yunxiong is young Master Lin's father-in-law. We can't let him die. Duanmu Chao and the other three roared and pounced on Lu Ming. The violent attacks enveloped Lu Ming's back. If Lu Ming killed Lu Yunxiong, he would be killed as well. Lu Ming's eyes flashed fiercely and he roared, Then I'll kill you guys first. Whoosh! Lu Ming turned around and thrust his spear behind him. The spear was as fast as lightning. Everyone could only see a flash of light in the sky. Poochie! Blood splattered everywhere, accompanied by a roar of anger and despair. The spear had pierced through Duanmu Chao's abdomen. Duanmu Chao's abdomen was not a vital part, so he was still alive. No, don't kill me. If you kill me, you'll die too. Duanmu Chao cried out in shock. Even now, you're still saying such things. How laughable. Lu Ming's eyes were cold. He shook his long spear and a powerful essential qi burst out. Duanmu Chao let out a shrill scream. Then, his body was torn into pieces. Blood, internal organs, and bones were scattered on the ground. Boom! Then, the spear light exploded and clashed with the other three chief elders. Amidst the violent explosion, Lu Ming and the three chief elders retreated rapidly. However, the direction in which Lu Ming retreated was the direction that Lu Yunxiong was running in. Ah! Lu Yunxiong saw that Duanmu Chao had been torn into pieces by the spear and Lu Ming was charging at him. He was even more frightened and screamed repeatedly. Evil creature! You're looking for death. Suddenly, a furious roar came from the sky. It was an old man in a Silavir robe. His killing intent was extremely sharp as he flew over from the distance. A Silavir robed elder. The Silavir robed elder of the Duanmu family is here. Ha! Lu Ming is dead meat. Lu Ming is an animal. He fused a powerful beast soul into his body just now. Otherwise, there's no way he could have such powerful combat strength. However, no matter how strong he is, he'll be killed by a single slap from the Silavir robed elder. The White Tiger Hall disciple shouted. The Silavir robed elder was a position that only martial arts grandmasters could take up. A martial arts grandmaster was also known as a grandmaster. A martial arts grandmaster could already establish a sect and was extremely powerful. Before he even reached Lu Ming, a terrifying pressure was already pressing down on him. Boom! Then, the Esilavira-robed elder struck out a palm across the air. A powerful and terrifying palm print was blasted toward Lu Ming. The wind whistled and the palm print was shocking. The pressure was as strong as a mountain, and Lu Ming could not move at all. Is this a martial arts grandmaster? It's much stronger than a 9th grade great master realm. Block it, I'm going to block it. Ancient shield. Lu Ming roared in his heart. The power of the beast soul in his body circulated wildly. An ancient shield condensed and appeared in front of Lu Ming. The shield condensed by the power of beast souls was more solid and ancient than before. At the same time, Lu Ming's long spear stabbed out madly. In an instant, hundreds of powerful spear lights were shot forward. Boom! The Esilavira-robed elder's palm finally arrived. Bang! Bang! In an instant, Lu Ming's spear radiance was shattered into pieces and exploded in the air like fireworks. The hundreds of spear lights were swept away and the palm print continued to move forward. Lu Ming used the high-altitude step and retreated quickly. However, he was still hit by the palm print. Clang! The ancient shield let out a melodious vibration sound. The shield shook violently, and the next moment, it exploded. However, it was an Earth-level martial skill after all, and it was operated by the power of the beast soul, which was much stronger than the shield condensed by his own Zhen Qi. Although it was broken, it still offset most of the palm power. However, the remaining force of the palm was still very strong. Lu Ming blocked it with his spear. With a loud bang, his body was pushed back hundreds of meters and he spat out a mouthful of blood. A long ravine appeared under his feet. However, he still managed to block it. Sisigu. Gasps could be heard from the audience. Lu Ming had managed to block a palm strike from Esilavira-robed elder and was not dead. How was this possible? This was a grandmaster, a 9th grade great martial master. Even if there were 100 of them, they would not be a match for a 1st grade martial grandmaster. However, Lu Ming had blocked it. It was unbelievable. Bang! At this moment, the Esilavira-robed elder jumped down from the sky and stomped heavily on the ground. The ground exploded with a loud bang, and a huge pit appeared. He was an old man in his 60s with white hair and a beard. At this moment, his eyes were full of killing intent and a faint surprise. He took a closer look at Lu Ming and sneered. It turns out that he has integrated a powerful beast soul into it. No wonder he has such combat power and can block my palm. Get out of my way. I want Lu Yunxiong. I must kill him today. Lu Ming said coldly. The surrounding people were shocked again. What did he mean by audacious? This was how he dared to say such words to a grandmaster. Foolish. Someone coldly rebuked. Haha. The Duanmu family's Silavira-robed elder laughed out loud before berating, Now, why don't you kneel down, destroy your cultivation, and wait for your punishment? The Esilavira-robed elder stood between Lu Ming and Lu Yunxiong. His aura was as imposing as a mountain. Lu Ming was under great pressure. It seems like I have to use my last move. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with madness. If he wanted to be crazy, he would be crazy to the end. He decided to merge with the half of the Demon King's soul. However, the energy contained in the soul of a Demon King was absolutely terrifying. With his current cultivation, he would probably explode. Even if he had the soul-devouring bloodline, which had already advanced to rank 6, he was not confident. However, there was no turning back now. Even if he retreated, the Duanmu family would not let him off. Only by fighting could he carve out a path for himself. It seems like you're not willing? If you're so stubborn, then let me deal with you, you rebellious little bastard. The Esilavira-robed elder bellowed and sent another palm at Lu Ming. The power of this palm was stronger and more terrifying than the previous one. It was obvious that he had not used his full strength in the previous palm. Come on then. Let me see how strong a martial arts grandmaster is. The madness in Lu Ming's eyes grew stronger, and there was a strong sense of persistence in his madness. Beast soul fuse. Oh! A giant Selavir wolf appeared and howled at the sky. Like the king of 10,000 demons, a terrifying aura spread out. Demon King, the soul of the Demon King. The Asilavir-robed elder of the Duanmu family roared madly. Chapter 183. Chapter 183, Merging with the Soul of the Demon King. The Asilavir-robed elder from the Duanmu family roared, his voice shaking the entire White Tiger Hall. Everyone who heard that was shocked beyond words. Their eyes widened as they stared at the giant Selavir wolf above Lu Ming's head. Heavens, this was actually the soul of a demon king? Everyone gasped in shock. A demon king? What kind of existence was that? If he was still alive, he would be able to destroy a sect like the Mystical Sword sect. It was extremely powerful. With a wave of its hand, it could cut off a great river, split a mountain, and had the power to destroy the world. How did Lu Ming obtain the soul of such an existence? Lu Ming, do you want to merge the Demon King's soul? You're crazy, you're courting death. How can you fuse with the soul of the Monster King? The Asilavir-robed elder roared. Melt. However, Lu Ming's gaze was extremely firm as he softly spat out one word. Oh. The giant Selavir wolf howled and charged into Lu Ming's body. Roar. At that moment, Lu Ming let out a furious roar. The aura on his body rose sharply. A ray of light rushed out and the Asilavir-robed elder's palm force was destroyed. Then, Lu Ming's body emitted a dazzling white light. Even his hair turned Asilavir. His long Asilavir hair danced in the wind. At this moment, Lu Ming looked like a demon. Kill! Lu Ming shouted and thrust his spear forward. Asilavir white spear radiance burst out. The target was the Asilavir-robed elder of the Duanmu family. His speed was unbelievable. What the fuck? Why didn't you explode? The Asilavir-robed elder of the Duanmu family roared in disbelief. How could a mere second-grade great martial master withstand the power of the Demon King's soul? However, he did not know that Lu Ming was able to resist the brutal power of the Demon King's soul because of his spirit-devouring bloodline. However, even so, the pressure that Lu Ming was under was still unimaginably great. The power of the soul of the Demon King was too strong. Although it was only half, it allowed Lu Ming's strength to increase rapidly. He broke through to the martial arts grandmaster realm in one fell swoop, giving Lu Ming the ability to fight with a martial arts grandmaster for the time being. However, this brutal force had caused serious injuries to Lu Ming's body. His bones were groaning as if they would break at any time. If I don't kill Lu Yunxiong, I won't explode. Since you're trying to stop me, I'll kill you first. Lu Ming let out a long howl. His aura was like a rainbow. He moved and stepped on the air, charging toward the Asilavir-robed elder. So what if you fused with a beast soul? Do you really think you can contend with me? I will let you understand how naive you are. The Asilavir-robed elder of the Duanmu family roared and exploded with all his power. At this moment, the entire square was enveloped in an indescribable pressure. Boom! The two figures clashed in the air, creating an earth-shattering boom. Bang! Then, a figure retreated frantically. The Asilavir-robed elder. It was the Asilavir-robed elder. Martial Ancestor 1 stage, you're only SOSO. Lu Ming laughed loudly. His aura became more and more terrifying. He took a step forward and his body turned into a Asilavir light, charging towards the Asilavir-robed elder. The Asilavir-robed elder's expression was extremely ugly. He had only read about using one's body to fuse with a beast's soul in ancient books. He did not expect it to be so powerful that even with his first-level martial arts grandmaster cultivation, he was no match for it. Hold him off. As long as I can hold him off for a while, when the other experts from the White Tiger Hall arrive, Lu Ming, that little bastard, will be dead for sure. The Esilavir-robed elder's mind raced as he gritted his teeth and charged toward Lu Ming. Boom! Boom! There were a few consecutive rumbles. Everyone could only see two flashes of light in the sky. They kept colliding with each other, erupting with loud rumbles and air waves. Whoosh! After more than 10 moves, a figure flew back hundreds of meters like a tail, leaving a long trail of light. As the light dissipated, everyone could see the Esilavir-robed elder of the Duanmu family standing in the air, trembling. He was spitting out blood and his eyes were filled with shock. In the square, it was difficult to describe the feelings of everyone at this time. It was too shocking. Lu Ming had actually injured a grandmaster. It was unbelievable and too shocking. Although all of this seemed to have happened slowly, it had actually happened in the time of a dozen breaths. How could this be? How did this happen? At the edge of the square, Lu Yunxiong was so scared that he was trembling and almost cried. Initially, when he saw the Esilavir-robed elder, he thought that he was finally safe and Lu Ming would not be able to do anything to him. However, Lu Ming fused with the soul of a demon king and exploded, injuring the Esilavir-robed elder in one fell swoop. He was almost scared to death. But we have to run. Lu Ming, this little bastard, is too evil. Lu Yunxiong roared in his heart. He turned around and ran towards the top of the White Tiger Hall. Lu Yunxiong, you can't run away. Lu Ming's cold voice was heard. He moved and turned into a stream of light, instantly appearing above Lu Yunxiong's head. Ah! Lu Yunxiong shrieked in fear. He jumped 10 meters high and turned around to look at Lu Ming. Lu Ming stretched out his hand and clenched his fist in the air. A Silavir palm condensed in the air and grabbed at Lu Yunxiong. Lu Yunxiong could not resist at all and was caught by the Esilavir palm. Arg! Don't kill me, help, help. Lu Yunxiong's old face turned red as he frantically jabbed his hands and feet with needles while he screamed madly. Lu Ming, let go of him. Do you know who he is? He's Duanmu Lin's father-in-law. If you kill him, you'll be in deep trouble. Do you know that? The Esilavir-robed elder of the Duanmu family flew over and shouted. A great disaster? Just because he was Duanmu Lin's father-in-law? What a joke! Lu Ming smiled coldly. Then he exerted force in his claw and cracking sounds came from Lu Yunxiong's body. Countless bones were crushed and Lu Yunxiong started to scream in pain. No, Lu Ming, don't kill me. I'm your elder. Lu Yunxiong shouted. Bullshit. Lu Ming shouted coldly, his eyes were cold. Father. At this moment, an anxious voice sounded from the sky. Then, a ray of light flew over from the distance. Lu Ming's eyes flickered and he looked at the stream of light. There were two figures in the light. One of them was Lu Yao. The other person was a young man around 17 or 18 years old. He was dressed in black, and he was handsome and cold. A terrifying aura emanated from him. A martial arts grandmaster. This young man, who looked to be 17 or 18 years old, was actually a top expert in the martial arts grandmaster realm. Duanmu Lin. That's Duanmu Lin. My God. He's flying in the air. He's at the martial ancestor realm. Duanmu Lin has broken through to the martial ancestor realm. It's true. Duanmu Lin is only 18 years old. An 18-year-old grandmaster? This is too terrifying. There are only a few of them in our mystical sword sect since ancient times. Lu Ming is finished. The people who were watching the battle couldn't help but shout when they saw this young man. Duanmu Lin. Lu Ming's eyes moved. Yao? Say father. Say father. Lu Ming wants to kill me. Hearing Lu Yao's voice, Lu Yunxiong seemed to have grabbed onto his last life-saving straw as he shouted with all his might. Buzz! The stream of light was very fast. It arrived in a few breaths and stopped in the air not far from Lu Ming. Chapter 184. Chapter 184. Chapter 184. Sun and Moon shining together. Lu Ming, let my father go. Lu Yao shouted. Do you think it's possible to let him go? You're still as naive as ever. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Lu Ming, you barged into the White Tiger Hall and killed the White Tiger Hall's disciples for no reason. Now you're trying to kill my father. Do you know how serious of a crime you've committed? Quickly release my father. Lu Yao called out. Sin? What a joke. Lu Yunxiong colluded with the Duanmu family to kill a member of the Lu family for no reason. He even tried to kill my mother. Now I want to kill him. What crime is there to be guilty of? Lu Ming refuted loudly. What? Lu Yao was shocked. Clearly, she did not know that Lu Yunxiong had gone to the Lu family. However, she was only slightly surprised before she returned to her original expression and said coldly, I don't care. Lu Ming, let go of my father. Lu Ming, I'm begging you. I'm begging you to let me go. I'm in the wrong. Please show mercy. Lu Yunxiong shouted. Clearly he was really afraid. Show mercy? Ha, Lu Yunxiong, it's ridiculous for you to say something like that. Did you show any mercy to the core elder of the Lu family? If I hadn't arrived in time, would you have shown mercy to my mother? Lu Ming's voice was getting colder and colder. Lu Ming, let me give you a piece of advice. You'd better let him go, then kneel down and admit your guilt. This is your best choice. Otherwise I, Duanmu Lin, will say that no one in the world can save you. Duanmu Lin's hands were behind his back. His aura was extremely shocking as he spoke with a cold expression. A haughty expression was revealed between his brows. No one in the world can save me? Who do you think you are? The world was so big, and there were so many geniuses. Did he think that he was the number one in the world just because he had a little cultivation? You're just a frog in a well. Lu Ming looked at Duanmu Lin and berated him. The surrounding crowd was dumbstruck. Lu Ming actually said that Duanmu Lin was a frog at the bottom of a well? They were already in a mess. What did you just say? Duanmu Lin's expression darkened. Nonsense. I'm going to kill Lu Yunxiong right now. Let's see what you can do to me. Lu Ming berated. He then looked at Lu Yunxiong and sneered, All right, Lu Yunxiong, I'll send you on your way now. No, don't. Lu Ming, don't. I don't want to die, help. Lu Yunxiong screamed crazily. His eyes were filled with fear and hesitation. No! Lu Yao shouted. Don't you dare. Duanmu Lin berated. Bang! Lu Ming sneered. He clenched his fist and the Esilavir palms suddenly closed. With a bang, Lu Yunxiong was bombarded by a huge force and exploded. Lu Yunxiong was dead. Father! Lu Yao shrieked. She then looked at Lu Ming and shouted madly, Lu Ming, I want you to die a horrible death. Boom! Duanmu Lin's aura became even more violent. His face was extremely gloomy, and the killing intent that emanated from his body seemed to be tangible. Lu Ming, you've made a very foolish choice. Duanmu Lin's voice was cold. He waved his hand and Lu Yao landed on the ground. Die! Then, Duanmu Lin shouted and charged toward Lu Ming. Kill! Lu Ming shouted as well and charged toward Duanmu Lin. They've made their move. Duanmu Lin and Lu Ming have made their move. Someone shouted in excitement. Duanmu Lin was a peerless genius with extraordinary talent. He had awakened his bloodline at a very young age and had been unrivaled throughout his journey. No one in his age group was his match. He had suppressed geniuses with special bloodlines and was known as one of the 4 great geniuses of the mystical sword sect. Moreover, he was ranked first among the 4 great geniuses. He had too many honors in the mystical sword sect and was believed to be a genius who would surpass Feng Wuji in the near future. As for Lu Ming, he had only joined the mystical sword sect for slightly more than a year, but he had created many miracles. The newcomer king had won first place on the bronze ranking in his first year and had comprehended force when he was in the master warrior realm. Now, he had even charged into the White Tiger Hall for his family. He was a lawless person. The two of them were now facing off against each other, attracting everyone's attention. Which of them would win? Everyone was staring at it. Boom! Finally, the two of them collided in the air. Two rays of light, one Esilavir and one black, glowed in the sky, occupying the entire sky. Buzz! Buzz! Then, the two voices flew back hundreds of meters. He's much stronger than that Esilavir-robed elder. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Duanmu Lin had just broken through to the martial ancestor realm not long ago, but his combat strength was not something that an ordinary one-stage martial ancestor realm expert could compare to. He was far more powerful than ordinary experts of the same level. Duanmu Lin was also shocked. After that dash, kill! Kill! The two of them charged forward at the same time. Terrifying attacks poured towards the other party in a frenzy. Boom! Boom! In the blink of an eye, the two of them had exchanged more than a dozen moves. Roar! Suddenly, a black leopard appeared. It was covered in lightning and had a horn on its head. Bloodline. That's Duanmu Lin's bloodline. The Azure Flood Dragon Lightning Leopard is a 7th grade bloodline. It's said that it possesses the bloodline of a flood dragon and is extremely powerful. Someone shouted. Great Sun Thunder Blade Slash. Duanmu Lin activated his bloodline power and roared. He slashed out with his saber, and endless saber radiance appeared and condensed into a huge sun. The huge sun hung in the air with boundless power. It carried a terrifying and shocking saber radiance as it charged towards Lu Ming. Earth rank martial skill. This is an Earth rank martial skill. Someone shouted. Silavir Wolf Moon Howl. Lu Ming's eyes flickered, then he let out a loud roar, like a wolf king. Then, a huge Silavir wolf appeared. This giant wolf was as large as a mountain. It howled at the sky and then a full moon appeared above its mouth. The full moon emitted boundless radiance that blasted toward Duanmu Lin. This was the Silavir Wolf Demon King's Abhijna. It was contained in the beast's soul and Lu Ming could use it for a short time. A sun and a full moon met in the sky, erupting with endless waves of air. And NBSP, the world was in chaos as energy shot out in all directions. Between the sun and the moon, a beam of light shot up into the sky, creating a huge hole in the white clouds. Everyone looked at the sky, dumbfounded. They looked at the sun, the moon, and the two young men. Break! Duanmu Lin roared. You're still far from it. I'll break you. Oh! Lu Ming howled like a wolf. The Esilavir glow on his body was so thick that it seemed to be tangible. Ooh. The pressure on Lu Ming's body grew stronger and stronger, and he began to let out sizzling sounds. His entire body was in excruciating pain as if it was being torn apart. Fine beads of blood even seeped out of his pores. However, Lu Ming did not care at all. He manically activated the power of the beast soul. Oh! In the sky, the mountain-like Esilavir wolf howled, and the full moon became even more resplendent. Boom! The sun was suppressed. Its light quickly dimmed and it was on the verge of collapse. Boom! 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 Then, with a loud boom, the sun trembled rapidly and exploded. Duanmu Lin's body trembled and he fell to the ground like a cannonball. At the same time, he spat out a mouthful of blood. Duanmu Lin had been injured and defeated. There was an uproar. Chapter 185. Chapter 185. The Deans of the Two Courtyards Take Action. Duanmu Lin, the unparalleled genius, had already broken through to the martial arts Grandmaster realm. However, he was still defeated by Lu Ming. He was beaten to the point where he vomited blood. Even though Lu Ming had fused with the soul of a demon king and it was not his own strength, this was still shocking enough. This was because being able to fuse with and use the soul of a demon king was a miracle in itself. It was impossible for ordinary people to do so. What peerless genius! You're just a short-sighted brat with a little bit of achievement. I'll kill you now. Lu Ming let out a long howl. His body was wrapped in a thick Esilavir light as he charged toward Duanmu Lin. Everyone was dumbfounded. Audacious. He was truly audacious. Lu Ming actually wanted to kill Duanmu Lin. One had to know that Duanmu Lin was the hope of the Duanmu family. He was the hope for the rise of the Duanmu family. If he killed someone else, there would still be a buffer, but if he killed Duanmu Lin, the Duanmu family would definitely not rest until one of them was dead. However, Lu Ming's eyes were filled with determination. He really wanted to kill Duanmu Lin. Boom! The Asilavir full moon emitted endless radiance. Every ray of radiance was like a spear light that shot toward Duanmu Lin. Lu Ming, you dare? The Asilavir-robed elder from the Duanmu family disregarded his injuries and pounced on Lu Ming. The dazzling saber radiance was unleashed, but it dissipated as soon as it came into contact with the radiance of the full moon. The Asilavir-robed elder could not even withstand a single blow from this move. He spat out blood and was sent flying backward. Lu Ming continued to charge toward Duanmu Lin. Evil beast, how dare you! At this moment, a loud shout suddenly rang out in the heavens and earth. With this shout, the world rumbled as an extremely powerful pressure exploded in the sky. Many disciples of the four courtyards with weaker cultivation vomited blood. Their faces turned pale and they fell to the ground on their butts. Then, the clouds in the sky rolled and a huge hand reached out from the clouds, grabbing at Lu Ming. The headmaster of the White Tiger Hall. It's the headmaster of the White Tiger Hall. Someone shouted. Boom! The White Tiger Hall's headmaster was too powerful. Although he was also a martial grandmaster, he was much more powerful than the Asilavir-robed elder or Duanmu Lin. The huge hand was still in the sky. It shook slightly and an unbelievably strong force appeared and blasted toward Lu Ming. Bang! The Asilavir full moon was like a bubble, dissipating without a sound. The giant Silavir wolf roared angrily, but it also collapsed. Lu Ming's body trembled violently. He spat out blood and retreated rapidly. However, the giant palm did not stop. It continued to press toward Lu Ming at an extremely fast speed. Lu Ming was completely enveloped by the huge palm and it was difficult for him to dodge. Duanmu Pajuan, you're the headmaster of a school, but you're actually attacking a junior disciple. Do you have any fucking shame? At this moment, a furious roar came from the south. At the same time, a sword light crossed the void and slashed at the huge hand. The sword light collided with the giant hand with irresistible force, directly crushing the giant hand into pieces. Then, it continued to fly out and cut into the clouds in the sky. Yen Lan! An angry roar came from the clouds, and then a terrifying blade light flashed. Boom! The energy swept through and the clouds dissipated, revealing a figure inside. It was the headmaster of the White Tiger Hall, Duanmu Pajuan. From the south, a figure appeared. It was the Vermilion Bird Hall's head, Yen Lan. The headmasters of the two academies faced each other from a distance. Their auras intersected, and between heaven and earth, a huge pressure spread out. Lu Ming, you bastard, I'm going to kill you. Below, Duanmu Lin roared. His long hair fluttered in the wind, and his aura was demonic. His killing intent was so dense that it was almost tangible. He had been injured by Lu Ming in front of everyone. To him, this was a great humiliation. He must kill Lu Ming. Roar! An earth-shaking roar was heard. An extremely dense blood-red light was emitted from Duanmu Lin's body. Then, a flood dragon rushed out from his body. This flood dragon was more than 10 meters long. It had a slender body, fur claws on its abdomen, and black scales all over its body. Lightning constantly swam on the scales, and a king-like aura spread out. The most eye-catching part was that there were 2 meridian cycles on the black water dragon's body. These meridian cycles were not blood-red in color, but Esilavir. 2 Esilavir chakra. At the scene, almost everyone was stunned. Then, they shouted, King-level bloodline, this is a king-level bloodline. And it's a second-rank royal bloodline. The bloodline that Duanmu Lin awakened for the second time is actually a second-rank royal bloodline. This is too shocking. What a monster! He has a chance to become a martial king. Most of them couldn't help but roar. In the process of a warrior breaking through from the 9th grade Great Martial Master realm to the Martial Ancestor realm, there would be a process of nirvana. During this process, one could awaken a second bloodline and a second type of bloodline. Generally speaking, the bloodline level of the second awakening would be higher than the first. As for whether the score would be higher or lower, it was completely uncertain. It depended on the individual's potential and accumulation. This was a true nirvana. Some warriors' first awakening of the bloodline was not high enough, but the second level could awaken an extremely high-level bloodline, and thus soar to the sky and become a world-famous expert. For some martial artists, the first bloodline they awakened was of a very high level, but the second bloodline they awakened might only be one level higher than the first. In that case, they would slowly be caught up by others, even surpassed. Generally speaking, there was another name for a level 9 bloodline. It was called a common bloodline. The chakra of a mortal level bloodline was blood red. Above the ordinary bloodline, there was another level of bloodline, known as the king bloodline. The king level bloodline was also divided into 9 levels. Its meridian cycle was Esilavir, and it was unknown how much stronger it was compared to the ordinary level bloodline. No matter if it was the speed of cultivation or the increase in combat power, it was not something that ordinary bloodlines could compare to. It was said that there was another kind of bloodline above the king bloodline, known as the divine bloodline. However, a bloodline of this level was only a legend and was rarely seen in the world. Duanmu Lin's second bloodline awakening was actually a second-rank king bloodline. It was truly shocking. It should be known that most people's second bloodline awakening was only a 9th-level ordinary bloodline at most. There were very few who could reach the king bloodline, 1 in 10,000. Duanmu Lin's king-level bloodline power rose his aura to the peak. Great Sun Thunder Blade Slash. Duanmu Lin roared as his saber cut through the air. Boundless saber radiance condensed into a sun. This sun was twice as strong as the previous one. Silavir Wolf Moon Howl. Lu Ming roared, pushing the power of the beast soul in his body to its limit. Another giant Silavir wolf appeared, howling at the sky. The Silavir full moon appeared, brighter than before. Boom! Once again, the sun and moon collided in the sky. Boundless radiance filled the air and space trembled non-stop as if it was about to explode. Kill, kill! Duanmu Lin roared crazily as his violent true qi gushed out continuously. However, Lu Ming also circulated the power of the beast soul to the extreme. Kachi-kachi! Lu Ming's body was constantly emitting the sound of beans being fried. His bones were trembling, his muscles were squirming, and blood was seeping out of his pores. He was under too much pressure. Chapter 186. Chapter 186, Kicked in the Head by a Donkey. Devour! Lu Ming controlled his blood meridian with all his might and devoured the tearing force with all his might. The terrifying devouring force spread all over his body to prevent himself from exploding from the beast's soul's power. However, after a series of battles, Lu Ming's body was still severely injured. The rumbling continued, and the sun and moon shone in the sky. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the 2 young men in the sky. The 2 headmasters of the White Tiger Hall and the Vermilion Bird Hall were in a standoff, and neither of them could interfere. Buzz! Buzz! In the sky, there was a continuous stream of light, and Esilavira-robed elders appeared in the air. At first, it was the Esilavira-robed elders from the White Tiger Hall. Soon after, the Esilavira-robed elders from the Vermilion Bird Hall, Azure Dragon Hall, and even the Onyx Tortoise Hall appeared in the sky. There were more than 20 Esilavira-robed elders from the 4 great academies. Boom! At this moment, the sun and moon in the sky suddenly collapsed, turning into energy and dissipating in the sky. Kill! Kill! The 2 of them roared at the same time, and their killing intent surged like a tide as they pounced toward each other. The blade energy and the spear radiance swept across the sky, breaking through the air and killing. The 2 of them continued to fight in the air, and the battle was extremely intense. Below, Lu Yao looked up at the sky in a daze, her eyes filled with disbelief. Lu Ming, the trash who used to be weak and sickly and could not cultivate, had actually grown to this stage. She found it hard to accept and could not accept it. It's just borrowing external power. He can't be compared to Brother Lin at all. Brother Lin is 100 times, 1,000 times stronger than him. Lu Yao kept warning herself in her heart. Lu Ming. Senior brother Lu Ming. At this moment, Mulan, Feng Wu, Pang Shi, and the others had all rushed over. Soon after, even more people arrived after receiving the news. For example, Zhang Myun, Duan Gang, and the others. After he rushed over, he stood at the side and looked at the sky in shock. In the air, Lu Ming and Duan Mulin had exchanged more than 100 moves, but it was still difficult to determine the victor. Let's attack together and kill that little bastard Lu Ming. He has killed dozens of experts from the Duanmu family. The Silavir-robed elder of the Duanmu family roared. Who would dare? Yen Lan shouted as his sword Qi soared into the sky. The other Silavir-robed elders of the Vermilion Bird Hall also released their auras and rushed forward. Yen Lan, Lu Ming has killed an elder of his sect. He has committed a heinous crime. How dare you protect him? Duanmu Pejuan shouted. The cause of the matter has not been clarified. I believe that Lu Ming would not do such a thing casually. There must be a reason. Yen Lan did not give in. I don't care what his reasons are. It's a fact that Lu Ming killed his fellow disciples and killed the Duanmu family. That's enough. He must die today. Duanmu Pejuan's voice was extremely cold. Then why don't you try? Yen Lan coldly shouted. The two sides were in a stalemate. It looked like an intense battle was about to break out. Enough! At this moment, a calm voice rang out from the depths of the mystical sword sect. It was not angry, but it exuded an air of authority. Sect leader! Yen Lan, Duanmu Pejuan and the Silavira-robed elders, expressions changed. Buzz! Buzz! 4 rays of light cut through the void and instantly appeared in the sky above the square. 4 figures appeared. The leader of the group was Lin Shui, the sect leader of the mystical sword sect. Behind him, there were 3 elders in golden robes. The moment the sect leader of the mystical sword sect appeared, he frowned. With a wave of his hand, a gentle force was produced and gushed toward Lu Ming and Duanmu Lin, who were still fighting. The two's attacks disappeared, and their bodies seemed to be pushed back by something. Sect leader, please don't stop me. Let me kill this bastard. Duanmu Lin roared madly. His body was filled with killing intent. You're an overconfident piece of trash. Do you think I'll be afraid of you? It's still not certain who will kill who. Do you really think you're a genius? In my eyes, you're just trash. Lu Ming retorted coldly. Bastard, smash it. I'm going to kill you. Duanmu Lin roared. Enough. The sect leader of the mystical sword sect bellowed softly once again. It did not sound heavy, but it reverberated in Lu Ming and Duanmu Lin's ears like thunder. Their expressions changed and they didn't speak. Sect leader, you've come at the right time. Lu Ming, that bastard, first killed dozens of people from the Duanmu family, then he boldly charged into the White Tiger Hall and killed a dozen of our Grandmaster Realm experts in front of everyone. He even killed the chief elder. Such a disgraceful and insane person must die. I beg sect leader to let me kill him with my own hands. Duanmu Pejuan bowed to the sect leader. Duanmu Pejuan, don't try to make false accusations here. I've said it before, let's figure out the reason first. Yen Lan cupped his fists as well before he turned to Lu Ming. Lu Ming, what do you think is going on? Didn't you kill dozens of people from the Duanmu family? When Yen Lan said, before, he was obviously referring to the time before they arrived at the White Tiger Hall. Not bad. Lu Ming admitted it directly. As soon as these words were spoken, the entire place was in an uproar. Duanmu Pejuan was overjoyed, while Yen Lan was shocked. Mulan and the others looked anxious. Sect Master, Look, Lu Ming has admitted it himself, Duanmu Pejuan said. I admit it, but aren't you going to ask me where I killed them? Lu Ming sneered. I don't care where you did it. It's a fact that you've killed my Duanmu family's people. Hee hee. Lu Ming sneered. He could not be bothered with Duanmu Pejuan and said, It's my family. The Lu family and the Duanmu family were led by Lu Yunxiong to kill my family members. They even tried to kill my mother. Do these people deserve to be killed? Lu Ming did not speak to the Duanmu family. Instead, he spoke to the other people from the 4 campuses and the sect master. What? There's such a thing? Everyone was shocked and turned to look at Duanmu Pejuan. Damn it, Duanmu Pejuan, your Duanmu family really has a lot of power. You actually dared to harm the family of your own disciples without permission. You're worse than beasts. If it were me, I would kill you too. Yanlan's hair and beard stood on end as he glared at Duanmu Pejuan. Nonsense. Lu Ming, you're talking nonsense. You're slandering the Duanmu family. You deserve to die. Duanmu Pejuan shouted in anger. Slander? Your Duanmu disciple's corpse is still lying in my Lu family. Do you want to go and take a look? Lu Ming sneered. Duanmu Pejuan's expression was somewhat unsightly as he said, Even if there is such a thing, it is possible that they have heard the rumors and been bewitched. You should have returned to the sect to report the situation first, and the sect would naturally investigate. However, you acted on your own and killed them. Your intentions are despicable. Haha. Lu Ming burst out laughing and said, Duanmu Pejuan, what you mean is that you want me to ignore the life and death of my family first and let your Duanmu family kill my Lu family's people and my mother while I come back to report first and then make a decision. Has your head been kicked by a donkey? Or is your IQ just that low? Lu Ming's disdainful voice was like a storm that spread throughout the entire venue. Everyone in the audience gasped. Lu Ming actually dared to scold Duanmu Pejuan? Say that Duanmu Pejuan's head was kicked by a donkey. Isn't he too bold? Little bastard, what did you say? Duanmu Pejuan was so angry that his entire body was trembling, and his old face was red. Chapter 187. Chapter 187. Chapter 187 Oppression. Ha, good scolding, good scolding. This old man's head was already kicked by a donkey. Yanlan laughed. Sect leader, you've seen it for yourself. This kid has no respect for his elders. It's clear how low his character is. If he's allowed to live in this world, he'll be a scourge. We must kill him today. Duanmu Pejuan said to the sect leader. The sect leader of the mystical sword sect frowned. Lu Ming was, without a doubt, a top genius. How could he ask to kill him? However, if he didn't kill them, how would he answer to the Duanmu family? Sect leader, Lu Ming killed 35 Master Realm experts, 15 Grandmaster Realm experts, and even the chief elder of the 9th grade Grandmaster Realm. These people were all elites of the mystical sword sect and had given their all for the sect. Yet, they died at the hands of a junior disciple. If we don't kill Lu Ming, I'm afraid our hearts will turn cold. That's right, sect leader. Even if those people from before were at fault, the dozen or so martial grandmasters behind them were only there to guard the White Tiger Hall and the sect. He was killed mercilessly. Lu Ming must be killed. A few Esilavira-robed elders from the White Tiger Hall also stepped forward. Everyone's eyes could not help but look at the square. There were more than a dozen corpses lying there, and the blood had not dried yet. Yanlan furrowed his brows. It was reasonable for Lu Ming to kill those people who had barged into the Lu family previously. However, it was hard to explain the situation with these 10 over people. They stopped me from killing the real murderer. I warned them, but they asked for it. Lu Ming said coldly. Ah, what a joke. Lu Ming, according to what you've said, if the sect leader stops you, you'll kill him too, right? Duanmu Pejuan laughed. Lu Ming frowned and did not say anything. He could not refute this. This matter was caused by your Duanmu family. Lu Ming was also trying to protect his family and his mother. In a moment of desperation, he used more force. This is human nature. It's excusable. He doesn't deserve to die. Yanlan said. Yanlan, you're determined to protect Lu Ming, right? Duanmu Pejuan said. Not bad. Yanlan said firmly. Then let's have a battle today. Let's see how long you can cover for Lu Ming. Duanmu Pejuan roared. Boom! Duanmu Pejuan and Yanlan's auras exploded forth as they clashed in the air. The sect leader frowned. Junpe, stop. An old voice sounded. Then, with a flash of golden light, a white-haired old man appeared in the air with a walking stick. This old man was wearing a golden robe. It was obvious that he was a golden-robed elder. Father, why have you come out of seclusion? Duanmu Pejuan cried out in surprise when he saw the old man. When the others heard this, they were all shocked. This person was actually Duanmu Pejuan's father. This is troublesome. Yanlan muttered as he furrowed his brows. Below, Mu Lan's eyes were filled with worry. Duanmu Pejuan's father, Duanmu Tenghai, was the previous patriarch of the Duanmu family and the previous headmaster of the White Tiger Hall. Although he was now a golden-robed elder of the mystical sword sect, his cultivation was extremely terrifying and unfathomable, surpassing the average golden-robed elder. It was said that in recent years he had been cultivating in seclusion in order to break through the Supreme King's realm. Greetings, old chief. Everyone from the Duanmu family stepped forward and saluted. Old Hai, why have you come out of seclusion? Is there a need to alarm you about this matter? The sect leader's expression changed slightly before he smiled. Duanmu Tsanghai let out a dry smile and said, Sect leader, if I don't come out and take a walk, the people of my Duanmu family will all be killed. The sect leader's expression changed slightly. He smiled and said, Old Hai's words are too serious, there's no need for this. I've already heard about this. First of all, the Duanmu family is at fault for being bewitched. However, Lu Ming was too ruthless. Not only did he kill all of them, but he also went to the White Tiger Hall and killed more than 10 martial grandmasters. This matter cannot be forgiven. He may be spared from death, but he cannot escape punishment. I suggest that we expel him from the sect. Duanmu Tsanghai said. No. Yanlan took a step forward and firmly objected. This old man is so scheming. After kicking Lu Ming out of the sect, without the protection of the sect, they will definitely send people to hunt Lu Ming down. Mu Lan's eyes were filled with anxiety. Old Hai, Lu Ming has the heart of a teenager. He'll be able to make it easily, but he shouldn't be expelled from the sect. The sect leader said. Sect leader, it seems like you still value talents. However, as you can see, Lu Ming has forcefully fused with the soul of the Demon King. Even if he temporarily gains power, his foundation is crippled. He will no longer be a genius, but a cripple. Duanmu Tsanghai laughed. The sect leader frowned and pondered. After all, the Duanmu family was at fault in this matter. Lu Ming was only avenging his family. Many young disciples would definitely be on Lu Ming's side. If they were to expel Lu Ming from the sect like this, many disciples would be bitterly disappointed. Seeing the sect leader's hesitation, Duanmu Tsanghai's face turned cold and he said slowly, Sect leader, the Duanmu family has done our best for the mystical sword sect for thousands of years, and we've made countless contributions. Today, so many of our people have been killed by a junior. If you don't expel him from the sect, then let the Duanmu family leave. Boom! This sentence was like a thunderbolt, exploding in everyone's mind and causing a shock. This was a threat. Duanmu Tsanghai was threatening the sect leader with the entire Duanmu family. Despicable, shameless. Pang Shi, Mu Lan, and the others growled. The sect leader's expression also changed greatly. He became extremely serious and said, Old Hai, your words are too much. Even though he said that, the sect leader had to take it seriously. Over the years, the Duanmu family had grown stronger and stronger. Almost the entire White Tiger Hall had become their territory. If they lost the Duanmu family, the mystical sword sect would definitely suffer a huge blow and its strength would be greatly reduced. As the sect leader, he had to treat this seriously. Damn it, this old man. Yen Lan clenched his fists tightly. Duanmu Pejuan and the other disciples of the Duanmu family sneered in their hearts. They would like to see how Lu Ming could avoid this calamity. Duanmu Canghai's lips curled into a cunning smile as he waited for the sect leader's answer. After pondering for a while, the sect leader took a deep breath. His eyes flashed as he looked at Lu Ming and said slowly, "Lu Ming, even though there's a reason for this, you've gone too far by killing dozens of people from the White Tiger Hall. They were all from the same sect. This is a grave crime." The sect leader's dignified voice reverberated throughout the entire area. "Sect leader, you can't." Yen Lan roared. "Sect leader, what's wrong with Lu Ming avenging his family? What crime?" Mulan also shouted. "If that's the case, doesn't that mean that the Duanmu family can kill our family in the future and we can't take revenge? What kind of logic is that?" Pang Shi also roared, his voice shaking the entire scene. The eyes of many disciples flickered. Clearly, they agreed with Pang Shi's statement. "Impudent! You dare to question the sect leader's will? You'll be punished as well." Duanmu Pejuan roared. His voice was so loud that Mulan, Pang Shi, and the others' expressions changed. Chapter 188. Chapter 188. Chapter 188 Leaving the Sect. Duanmu Pejuan, what are you shouting for? Are you going to attack the juniors? Yen Lan glared at Duanmu Pejuan. "Principal!" Lu Ming suddenly shouted. Yen Lan looked at Lu Ming. The others also looked at Lu Ming. Lu Ming cupped his fists and bowed to Yen Lan. "Thank you for your help, Dean." Then, Lu Ming looked at Mulan and the rest. "Senior sister Mulan, Boulder, Fengwu, you don't have to say anything. I already understand this." Lu Ming smiled indifferently. The sect leader's meaning was already very clear. What he meant next was that he would definitely be expelled from the sect. It's still not enough. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. Strength. It was all a matter of strength. He was too weak. If he was so strong that he could surpass the Duanmu family, why would the sect leader of the mystical sword sect have such intentions? Why would he be punished? Even if the Duanmu family was destroyed, the sect leader of the mystical sword sect would not say a word. Even though he had displayed unparalleled talent during this period of time. However, that was only for now. He was still young after all. Who knew what would happen in the future? Would it be like a shooting star, flashing and disappearing? There were too many such examples in the world. Moreover, Duanmu Lin was also a peerless genius. He had awakened a second-rank king bloodline and had broken through to the martial ancestor realm at the age of 18. He could expect to become a martial king in the future. In many people's eyes, Duanmu Lin's future would definitely be stronger than Lu Ming's. All in all, Lu Ming's value and weight paled in comparison to the Duanmu family. That was why the sect leader had chosen the Duanmu family in the end. This was the reality. Lu Ming sighed in his heart, then smiled faintly. He looked at the sect leader of the mystical sword sect and said in a clear voice, "Sect leader Lin, today, I, Lu Ming, will leave the mystical sword sect." The voice was calm and indifferent, causing everyone's heart to tremble. Lu Ming wanted to withdraw from the mystical sword sect. "Lu Ming, you can't!" Mulan shouted. "Senior brother Lu Ming." Pang Shi gritted his teeth, his eyes wide open. "AI." Zhang Miyun, Duan Gang, and the others sighed. Many of the Duanmu family's disciples laughed. Duanmu Canghai and Duanmu Pejuan's faces revealed a cold smile. "Senior sister Mulan, Big Rock, you don't have to say anything. I've made up my mind." Rather than waiting to be expelled from the sect, it would be better to withdraw himself. AI. The sect leader Lin Shui let out a long sigh and said, "Lu Ming, I, Lin Shui, guarantee that no one will dare to touch your family again. I will guarantee their safety for 10 years. Elder Yu." Lin Shui shouted. This old man is here. Behind Lin Shui, a gold-robed elder cupped his fists and said, "Set off immediately and guard the Lu family of Fiery Wind City for 10 years. Ensure the Lu family's safety for 10 years. Kill anyone who dares to touch the Lu family." Lin Shui ordered. "Yes, sir." The golden-robed elder cupped his fists and turned into a stream of light, disappearing into the sky. Duanmu Tanghai's old eyes squinted and a glint flashed across his eyes. Duanmu Pejuan's expression was somewhat unsightly. It was obvious that Shui Lin's actions were to guard against the Duanmu family. "Thank you, sect leader Lin." Lu Ming stepped forward and cupped his fists to express his gratitude. He was thanking her from the bottom of his heart. He had been worried about the Lu family and his mother, but now there was no need to. With a gold-robed elder guarding the place, the Lu family would be safe for the next 10 years. "Lu Ming, I've let you down. As the sect leader of the Mystical Sword Sect, I have to think for the sake of the Mystical Sword Sect." Lin Shui sighed and it rang in Lu Ming's ears. Of course, it was a voice transmission, so no one else could hear it. Lu Ming nodded and did not say much. Then, it flew towards Yen Lan. "Dean, Lu Ming thanks you for your help." He bowed. "Lu Ming, you don't have to do this. Even if I have to risk my life, I can still protect you." Yen Lan said. "Lu Ming will always remember the Dean's kindness." Lu Ming saluted again and moved to Mu Lan's side. "Lu Ming." "Senior brother Lu Ming." Mu Lan and the others called out one by one. Their eyes were filled with anger and reluctance. "Everyone, please take care of yourself in the future. I will come back to see you." Lu Ming said with a smile. "Senior brother Lu Ming, since you're leaving the sect, I'll leave with you. I'm not staying here any longer." Pang Shi roared. "Big Rock, what are you talking about? Just focus on your cultivation in the Mystical Sword Sect. With your talent, you'll definitely be successful in the future. Don't let your parents down." Lu Ming said, feeling very warm in his heart. In the Mystical Sword Sect, the best thing he had gained was making a few true friends. But Yen. Pang Shi's eyes were bloodshot, and his fists were clenched so tightly that they made cracking sounds. "But what? Cultivate well, we'll definitely meet again in the future and have a drink together." Lu Ming patted Pang Shi's shoulder and said sternly. Pang Shi gritted his teeth, then nodded solemnly. "Lu Ming, be careful when you leave the Mystical Sword Sect. The Duanmu family will not let you off so easily." Mu Lan warned. Her eyes were filled with worry. Lu Ming nodded. He was very clear about this. He and the Duanmu family had long been at each other's throats. Suddenly, Lu Ming smiled and whispered into Mu Lan's ear, "Senior sister Mu Lan, don't forget that you still owe me a reward. I'll be asking for it the next time we meet." After he finished speaking, he even sniffed it heavily. "As long as you're alive, everything can be discussed." Mu Lan's face reddened. Everything can be discussed. Was he hinting at something? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Then he smiled and left. "Lu Ming, take care." Zhang Yun strode out and cupped his fists at Lu Ming. "Lu Ming, take care." After that, Ling Kong, Duan Gang, Zhua Yirong, Cheng Feiqing, and the rest walked out and cupped their fists at Lu Ming. Everyone take care. Let's have a drink together next time." Lu Ming laughed heartily. "There's still a next time when we drink? Lu Ming, I will kill you." Duanmu Lin's eyes were cold and his voice was filled with killing intent. Lu Ming turned around and looked at Duanmu Lin with a cold smile. "Duanmu Lin, do you really think you're a genius? I, Lu Ming, swear today that I will take your head with my own strength within 2 years." What a joke. With your own strength? You won't be my match for the rest of your life. Duanmu Lin sneered. His smile was full of disdain. "Also, we'll see if you're still alive." "Lin? He's just talking for fun. He's forcefully fused with the Demon King's soul and will soon become a cripple. He's already at the end of his road." Duanmu Pejuan sneered. "Oh really? Just you wait, old man. I've killed dozens of people from your Duanmu family today, but I'll definitely use my spear to wipe out the Duanmu family in the future. With that, Lu Ming leaped forward and laughed. Step by step, he walked in the air and headed out of the mystical sword sect. Under the sunlight, Lu Ming's young back was filled with confidence, determination, unyielding, and a heroic spirit as if he had vowed to break through the heavens. This scene, this moment, this back view, was deeply imprinted in the minds of everyone present. He would never forget it for the next 10, 20, or even his entire life. Chapter 189. Chapter 189. With a spear in hand, he can dominate the world. Lu Ming, I believe that you'll be fine. You'll create a miracle and flatten the Duanmu family in the future. Mu Lan said softly. As for Feng Wu, she looked at Lu Ming's back view with mixed feelings. This young man, who was about the same age as him, had joined the mystical sword sect and participated in the assessment together with her. However, he had created too many miracles. In the past, she had a special feeling for Lu Ming. However, she suppressed that feeling after Lu Ming burst out with a dazzling light. She knew that the gap between them was too big, and it would only get bigger in the future. Senior brother Lu Ming. Pang Shi's fists were clenched tightly, and his eyes were filled with tears. His body was trembling nonstop. Lu Ming, the world is unfair, but I believe that you can overcome all obstacles and overcome all obstacles. In the future, I'll wait for you to drink and discuss Tao with me. Zhang Muyun muttered to himself. Beside him, Zhou Yirong grabbed Zhang Muyun's hands tightly. Lu Ming, Lu Ming. Lu Yao stared at Lu Ming's back in a daze. At this moment, she did not know why, but her heart was filled with complicated feelings. On one hand, she hated Lu Ming. He was just a piece of trash that she had abandoned. How could he have such high talent? He had even killed his father and crippled his big brother. On the other hand, she was afraid. She was afraid that Lu Ming would really kill his way into the Duanmu family one day and destroy everything she had. Lu Ming, you should just go to hell. Finally, Lu Yao growled. AI. The sect leader of the mystical sword sect, Lin Shui, let out a long sigh. She turned around, took a step forward, and disappeared into the horizon. Duanmu Songhai looked in the direction where Lu Ming had disappeared, his murky old eyes glimmering. Pejuan, this man is too extraordinary. He's a rare genius. We can't let him live. I can't rest easy if he's not dead. Duanmu Songhai solemnly said to Duanmu Pejuan. Duanmu Pejuan's heart trembled. His father actually regarded Lu Ming so highly. Was Lu Ming really such a big threat? Don't worry, father. I'll make the necessary arrangements. Duanmu Pejuan said as he bowed. That's good. Duanmu Songhai nodded and took a step forward, disappearing without a trace. The crowd slowly dispersed. However, Lu Ming's name was destined to shock every single person in the mystical sword sect after today's incident. His name would be engraved in the history of the mystical sword sect. Lu Ming left the mystical sword sect and flew into the distance at high speed. Not long after, he charged into a mountain forest. At this time, the aura on his body was rapidly declining. Although the Demon King's soul was powerful, it had been holding on for so long that its power was exhausted. Lu Ming's body trembled and he could not help but spit out a mouthful of blood. The backlash from the Demon King's soul was too strong. Even with the spirit-devouring bloodline, my body almost couldn't take it and was heavily injured. Lu Ming pondered. At this moment, his bones were slightly cracked, his muscles were torn by the powerful force, and a thick layer of blood scabs formed on his skin. However, it was not as serious as Duanmu Pejuan and the rest had imagined. They thought that Lu Ming was already crippled. As long as Lu Ming focused on healing his injuries, he would be fully recovered in a few days. This was the uniqueness of the spirit-devouring bloodline. Lu Ming looked in the direction of the mystical sword sect, his eyes glimmering. At the end of the day, it's all because I'm too weak. The Duanmu family is using their entire family to suppress the sect leader of the mystical sword sect. I'm no match for the entire Duanmu family. But that's only for now. It won't be long before I prove that I, alone, can suppress an entire family and an entire force. I want to become stronger. With a spear in hand, I want to dominate the world. That is my goal. Lu Ming clenched his fists tightly and his eyes were filled with determination. There's also Qiuyu. I can't say goodbye to her this time. If she finds out that I've left the mystical sword sect, I wonder what she'll do. That girl will probably cause a huge ruckus. Lu Ming pondered secretly. Forget it. We'll meet again eventually. The most important thing now is to heal. With a single thought, Lu Ming appeared in the Supreme Shrine. He took out a healing pill and swallowed it, then began to channel his energy to heal his injuries. 2 days later, Lu Ming's injuries had recovered by 80%. Mother must be worried about me coming out this time. I should go home now and see Mother so that she can be at ease. After that, I'll head to the imperial capital and try to think of a way to save Father while I cultivate. After planning his journey, Lu Ming left the Supreme Shrine and found a small river in the forest. He washed the blood off his body and changed into a black robe and a bamboo hat. He left the forest and headed towards Fiery Wind City. The black robe and bamboo hat were the ones he had used in the past, and they had been kept in the Supreme Shrine. The Duanmu family would not let him off so easily, so he had to be careful when he moved. He changed directions several times on his way to Fiery Wind City. He only returned to the Lu family after 7 days. Ming, you're fine. That's great. At the first sight of Lu Ming, Li Ping's tears flowed down and she hugged him tightly. Lu Ming had gone after Lu Yunxiong. During this period of time, she had been on tenterhooks every day, afraid that something had happened to Lu Ming. Mother, I'm fine. Don't worry. Lu Ming smiled. It's good that you're all right, it's good. Li Ping kept nodding her head and looked at Lu Ming carefully. After that, he started talking to Li Ping about the Lu family situation over the past few days. Previously, the 2nd to 6th branches of the Lu family had all surrendered to Lu Yunxiong. However, he did not expect Lu Ming to return. Not only did he kill almost all of the people that Lu Yunxiong had brought, he even went after Lu Yunxiong. The people from the Lu clan's branch were terrified when they saw the invincible experts lying dead in the courtyard. It was unbelievable that Lu Ming was so powerful. For the past few days, she had been trembling in fear, waiting for Lu Ming's return and his judgment. After chatting with Li Ping for a while, the remaining 3 core elders of the Lu clan came to pay their respects. The 3 of us pay our respects to the young master. The 3 core elders bowed and greeted Lu Ming. 3 elders, there's no need to be so polite. Lu Ming quickly helped the 3 core elders up. The core elders still stood by the Lu family and Li Ping's side at the moment of life and death. This made him very touched and respectful. The 3 core elders looked at Lu Ming with undisguised joy in their eyes. Lu Ming had such powerful combat strength and was able to come back alive after chasing after Lu Yunxiong. This meant that the Lu family was about to rise. They were naturally overjoyed. Young master, the branch leaders of the 2nd to 6th branches are waiting outside. One of the core elders said. Oh, then let them wait. Come, 3 elders, let's have some tea and chat. Lu Ming smiled and invited the 3 core elders to take a seat. Then, Lu Ming asked about the Lu family's situation and the details of Lu Yunxiong's visit. Time flew by and 2 hours passed. Go, let them in. Lu Ming instructed a maidservant. The servant girl responded and went out. Not long after, 5 middle-aged men came in. The 5 middle-aged men were the branch masters of the 2nd to 6th branches. They were also the elders of the Lu clan. This subordinate greets the young master. The 5 branch masters hurriedly knelt down when they saw Lu Ming. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Immortal Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.